Hello folks and welcome to the Plotcast podcast with your hosts me, Tom.
And Dan.
Such enthusiasm there. And this week we are looking at the 2001 film The Last Minute, directed by Stephen Norrington of Blade fame.
Blade fame.
Blade fame.
The opening to this one, once we've got past the usual studio bump, we're open on Billy Byrne, the character played by Max Beasley, and it's a really it's a really square shot. It's something that I'm a bit like me about sometimes. It's a very, yes, we are the entire fourth wall in this frame.
Yeah, it's very fourth wall breaking.
It's because he's addressing the audience directly.
He's talking to us, the listeners.
Yeah, straight away and right from the get-go, just talking absolute trash, as he tends to do throughout the rest of this film, in my eyes. Like, not that it's got no content to it, but it's just this fast-paced kind of, It's almost like, oh god, what's it called? The one with Ewan McGregor and the baby on the ceiling and shit.
Oh, Trainspotting.
Yeah, it's got this vibe, this whole like high energy kind of thing.
Yeah.
To it. But in this scene, he's in what looks like a mountain rescue centre.
yeah, it should have leaflets on the wall.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like it's a snow cabin, isn't it? I think
that's it. And he looks pretty like well together,
and very pleased with himself.
Yeah,
indeed.
Exactly. But this kind of place, it immediately. So I'm looking at this back wall, just because it's the frame, and I'm looking at stuff, and I was like, okay, so there's sledges and skis and
a bit of snow out the window.
Why are there paddles on the back of this thing? Which luckily gets answered in a minute. But do you want to talk about what he's saying to the audience?
So he's saying, in a very Cockney accent, the information I'm about to share with you is fundamentally and potentially dangerous.
Yeah.
And he does a lot of bollocking on. And the thing that this reminded me of was the Fast Show.
Oh,
it's my name, it's Michael Caine. No, I'm a nosy neighbour. Nah.
Yeah, a little bit.
But yeah, he's trying to share some facts with the audience that basically something he's figured out in life, kind of like a life hack, a secret.
Yeah.
And what he goes on to say is basically he's breaking down how many days you will actually be awake and live before you potentially die.
Yeah.
Have you got the numbers written down?
Yeah, unfortunately. But I mean, he gets there in a very roundabout way. He keeps explaining that he's going to explain something and never fucking explains anything.
That's true.
So it's this whole thing, like, he keeps saying it's kind of like fundamentally obvious and you should be able to work it out for yourself.
All you need is a pocket calculator, pencil, piece of paper and a piece of sticky back plastic if you've got any idea where to find the stuff. Yeah. Why do you need the sticky back plastic?
I don't know, because then he goes on to ramble for like another 5 minutes and then goes, and actually you don't need any of that if you just got a basic scrap of maths.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Right, okay, fucking get on with it then.
Yeah, so he says basically, imagine if you live to be 90, you're born in 1970, die in 2060. Statistically we get away with 71, 72 as a dying age. Times that by 365. That's 32,850. I'm not going to do all this.
Yeah.
But basically, in the end of it, he goes through all these maths and everything, and he gets to that's less than 3,000 weeks.
Yeah.
2,780 to be exact. So what did you do this week?
Yeah.
So basically, that's he's saying that's the actual time you've got to live your life. If you discount sleep, going to work, sitting on the bar, that kind of thing. Yeah, the whole time he's telling you this, he's very smug with himself, and I kind of hate him.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's the idea.
Because that's what I mean. To me, it was that whole setup of the choose life, choose this. I know exactly what the fuck I'm doing. Why aren't you? Like, and I was like, okay, this seems a bit reminiscent of like anything in the 90s.
Yeah,
and sort of sure-footed.
Yeah, he should at the end of it try and sell you a phone contract.
Yeah, exactly.
But halfway through this,
well, no, before he even gets to that point.
Yes, that's right.
Because he's still explaining that he's going to explain something.
That's right.
And before that, my question is answered. And a woman bursts through the Arctic mists through the door with a kayak.
Yes, they have a bit of a smooch.
Yeah.
And then she buggers off.
She buggers abruptly back off out the door. And then he launches into his tirade of, we've only got, if you live to 90, this many weeks, this many years and stuff.
Yeah. And it is a horrible yet true perspective.
Well,
I suppose that's all we do have to live.
Yeah, statistically you can work out hours, yes.
Yeah, but just don't do it.
No, because it leads to a depressing intro.
It does.
But yeah, and then what do we get? He drops the line, "What did you do this week?" And then it's cuts to 2 years earlier.
2 years earlier, and he's being rushed for a busy office by actress Lisa Mae Bryce. And this is how we came to review this movie, because I watched Dead Set, which she's in.
Yeah.
And I happened to Google pictures of her just because I was bored and I thought she's quite a nice older lady.
Right.
But then it came up with the poster for this film, and I thought, that's Michael Shannon, and I thought that might be an interesting film I've never seen.
Yeah.
It turns out it was this film and it's not Michael Shannon, and that kind of led me down a rabbit hole. I was like, oh, I've never seen this. It's by the director of Blade. That's a quite interesting looking trailer. So that's how this podcast came to be. It's funny how things work out, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, she's like hurrying him through, asking him loads of fast-paced questions, like how do you feel about world domination? He's a typical archetypal wanker, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's again, like I say, this is what from the get-go made me start thinking of films like Trainspotting and that, because it's this whole, you know, hysteria of panning shots and, like, you know, almost strobe effect, very fast.
Intercut with things really fastly sped up, and then getting back to a slow down point. You can't focus on
anything in the frame for longer than a second, and then it's this barrage of questions from her. Do you want some tea? And then, like, he ends up getting a cup of chai tea.
Yeah, I think.
And I was like, well, that worked out for the better in my eyes.
Yeah, in my opinion, yeah.
Well, depending on what mood you're in, I guess. But yeah, and then at that point, like, yeah, two of his buddies sidle up to him and they're like, "What, Billy boy? How'd you feel about world domination?" And it's like, well, so we're led to believe whatever's happening, he's coming up. You know, he's being successful or he's rising there too. It's it's all very
exciting young talent.
Yeah.
And then he bumps into a friend of his, Jimmy Wilkins.
Yeah.
Who's on the phone. He's looking a bit beardy and scruffy, and he kind of doesn't pay him any attention.
Yeah, just kind of blanks him.
Yeah. And he's like, haven't you heard? Everyone wants a piece of Jimmy.
Yeah.
So you can tell from the offset that this company is kind of ruining people and turning them into the worst kind of people you wouldn't want to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Successful yet pompous.
Yeah, because he's on like 2 phone calls at the same time, shouting and just saying his name.
Yeah.
Basically, so he's just really like up his own arse.
And this is where the boss comes out, who is. What was his name? Mitchell Walsh, played by Anthony Higgins. And he goes straight up to, I think it's Sally. It is, yeah. He says, what does he say? Get in here.
He says, give me a quick one off the wrist, Sally. Right. And then he goes, oh, Billy! So I like that his general offset was, if there was no one else there, he'd just go and ask his secretary to give him a hand job.
She very well may do it.
Well, yeah. I think she slaps him, though, doesn't she? No, I think that might be later in the film.
Yeah.
But yeah, he sort of changes his tone and he's like, oh, Billy, come in, oh, come in the office. And
I think he gives him a kiss on the cheek as well.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
And he goes, stay away from Wilkins, I don't want you catching a dose of that.
Yeah.
And he goes, is he sick? No, he's crap.
He's crap, yeah.
But then there are 2 little doggies in the office, aren't there?
Yeah.
Which this is the first time that it made me laugh out loud, because we get this really weird sort of reverse stop motion 3-second clip of them humping.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Which is... It's hilarious and terrible at the same time.
Makes no sense. Well, you know, dogs do hump, so I guess
they do hump, yeah, but not in the way that was shown in this movie.
No, but he starts just doing this whole spiel and praising Billy and, oh God, you know, you're so professional. You're amazing. You're great. You know, I'll suck your dick, I love you, kind of, you know, managery kind of shit. So that's how I started thinking, okay, so mate, I see he's some kind of agent then, I guess, because it's never really, nothing in this film is ever actually said.
Well, yeah, it's worth saying. Yeah, it's worth saying at this point that we never actually find out what the job is, what he's good at, do we?
No, we don't know. Like, I'm still not sure.
I think the whole idea is that it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
but yeah, we don't know what he's actually, why he's there, what he's getting into, who these people are.
Yeah.
We just know that he's up and coming, and they're going to make a good example of him.
Yeah.
And he's going to be rich and famous, and all this malarkey.
That's it. He's saying he's going to be the next big thing, whatever it is.
I think he starts giving him a head massage at some point as well.
Yeah, it's a bit odd. But I love that Sally comes in for no reason at all. And he comes out with another corking line, which is, what is it? Bother us again, and I'll resort to the gratuitous use of the word cunt. She just walks out again.
I just got in a bold, amazing.
Yeah, brilliant. Because already, there's a couple of times when you pitched it to me, you said he'd had a quick look at it, and there was a couple of things that just made you laugh, but you weren't it wasn't expressly a comedy.
No, yeah.
There's a couple of good laughs.
That's exactly it. There's two in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, that one got me. And something I love about this film already is how unashamedly British it is to a certain...
It is very British.
It's the way the characters conduct themselves. Obviously, it's not going to be actual... you're probably not going to get a boss saying these kind of things to someone, but it's the kind of thing that if we had the overall ability to carte blanche to just say whatever we were thinking, that's pretty much it. And the English accent kind of sells it.
Yeah, he's
well.
quintessentially... I can't say the word.
Quintessentially.
That's it. Camp and British at the same time. Yeah. And slightly menacing.
Yeah, because all the other characters are very Cockney. So when he delivers the line, it's more a gratuitous use of the word cunt. Yeah. It's nice.
He should have a teacup in his hand.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I quite like that, and he keeps going on about then after Sal's left. You've achieved so much in such a short time.
Yeah, the age of 19, and he goes, "I'm 26 actually."
Yeah, and he's like. Anyway,
and that made me feel old actually, because I picture him as being older than me. I didn't check his age, but if he's meant to be 26, then my pushing on 31 is making me feel quite ancient at this point.
Yeah.
Well, and what have I achieved?
Yeah.
Not as much as Billy here.
Yeah, exactly. But again, we're still not sure what the hell Billy has achieved, because there's an amazing lack of exposition.
Oh yeah.
Throughout this whole scene, and I've got it as something like 7 minutes 54. Still not sure what the hell is happening. Because again, all this is a very quick scene, realistically.
Yeah, there's no not too much context to it. It's almost like you're meant to follow the subtext, because he says to him, "There are people that will want you to fail," and he goes, "My mom always says the devil wears the widest smile." Yeah. And he gives him a big grin. Yeah. And you're like, "Oh, yeah, subtlety." And then jump cut to
the next big
thing, and this is like a kind of big breakfast channel for really high energy nonsense show. You expect Zig and Zag to turn up.
Exactly. It's like a low rent MTV kind of interview based thing, isn't it?
It's very Channel 4 big breakfast, fast cuts, smiles and bollocks.
Yes. That's it. And again, it's just a barrage of questions.
Yeah, so he's been interviewed by this presenter, and basically they're asking about his fame, and she's asking about his girlfriend and can you stay faithful with all your fame.
But she doesn't let him answer any of these questions.
No.
He'll be like, "Yeah, well, I think, and what do you think about this in Norway?" And I reckon. And have you got plans to see the Queen? And it's very fast paced, very fast paced.
I think this is the first time he says that I've got a very big cranium.
Yes,
he says that a lot. But she describes him as the British Brad Matlock.
Yeah,
and then we get a quick cut of him, and it's Brad. No, not Brad Dorff, is it? It's
Stephen Dorff.
Stephen Dorff, yeah. I don't know why I put Brad Dorff. Yeah. And yeah, I think that's one of two shots we only get of him.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing he says, but he just says, "Who's Billy Byrne?"
Who's he meant to be?
Very, very derisive. Whatever. Kind of comment, and then it keeps cutting back again to Billy, and then this comment, and yada yada, and then again another complete cut to a couple of friends. Well, it's sort of like a pullback cut rather from the TV. We see that Billy is watching the TV.
That's right, yeah.
With three of his mates.
With a cracking old video player, I've got a note.
Exactly. And so he's got some guys on the couch, and they're kind of just taking the piss because they're like, "Oh, who's Billy Byrne?" Oh. So they're doing the standard laddie matey thing of just ripping someone who's been upset.
And they're in one of these big lofts in London that you'd never be able to afford realistically. But you can tell that they're like his druggy, downtrodden friends, because they've all got like a big fur coat on.
Yeah.
And like bobble hats and tracksuits.
Yeah, they're kind of like the hangers on sort of thing, the posse, if you will. Ugh. Dirty saying that word.
And he says, "Come Monday, you'll all be wanting my autograph."
Yeah.
But we still don't know why. And then in enters an Irishman.
Yes.
Played by, who is it now?
Kieran McMenamin.
Kieran McMenamin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My autograph. Save my bush, bro. Why don't you listen to what he is saying, idiots? He's right. And what the fuck have you lot all been doing this year, eh?
Same as you, Garvey, man. You know what I mean?
Oh, you managed to build a thriving business too, did you?
Kieran McMiniman. Playing Garvey. He comes in and he's sort of had a little bit of a cross banter back to the lads and said, "Oh, well, how are you so good then? You know, what have you been doing with your life? Have you done this, that, and the other?" And he's kind of like, you get a little bit of semi-exposition about his character that he's saying, "Well, I've got aspirations. You know,
yeah, I've been doing something.
I'm
in my
on the
life.
up and up. Yeah, what you know, stop sitting on your ass and taking the piss out of Billy. What have you done that's so great?"
And he goes, "What have you done? Have you built a thriving business as well?" Billy's following his dream. Inspiration to us all.
There you go.
But yeah, I think he takes a joint off one of the stoner guys with the big fur coat.
Yeah.
And then he kind of tries to offer it to Billy. But he won't take it. And he says, "Old Garvey needs a bigger hard drive," and he points to a fantastically old desktop PC, which made me very happy, of course. I think then he says to him something like, "Oh, did it fall off the back of a lorry?" And he's like, "No, I bought this with my hard-earned cash." Yeah. Kind of implying that he is a drug dealer. Yeah, he's selling the weed.
Well, yeah, because he's got a big old tin full of various forms of weed, I guess, or whatever. And it's obvious that the three guys hangers on or whatever. It's kind of like this place is Garvey's and it's his kind of, let's call it, crack den kind of.
Yeah, it's his hangout.
Yeah, which is why he's got his people that he sells to that come and do drugs, and he sells more drugs to them. You know, that's right. That's his business. It's like his coffee shop.
Yeah, because that's when he says to him, "Have you expanded your customer base this week?"
Yeah,
or something like that. And he goes, "No," and he goes, "That's because you are my customer base."
Yeah,
and he takes the weed off him. Yeah, which I thought was a nice little touch.
Yeah, so it's good. It sets him up as the shrewd. Albeit criminal sort of element, you know, he's switched on, he's got his head screwed on kind of thing.
And then something happens which will happen a few times in this movie. You know, just a random DJ he puts a track on in the loft.
Yeah.
And then the guy in the coat really starts giving it some. He just stands up and starts dancing.
Yes.
Quite maniacally. And then again, fast cut to Tokyo. And he's receiving some love hearts and there's bubbles and then a big elephant. I think there's like some Japanese twins.
I couldn't tell whether it was a guy in an elephant suit or just a close-up of a stuffed doll. I wasn't really too sure at that point.
Either way, it's weird.
Oh yeah, because it's standard Tokyo sort of, Japanese sort of fangirl thing. That, you know, there's loads of girls with posters of his face going, "Ah, baby," you know, and also
that's racist.
Yeah, but that's
but no, that's exactly how it is in the film. Yeah,
it's that kind of thing. You can imagine it if it was an anime with whatever. It's stereotypical. What do they usually wear? Like schoolgirl kind of.
That's like a little tie.
This whole fangirl kind of thing.
A small skirt. Again, we don't know what he's famous for, but we know he's international now. Yeah. He's made it across the seas. But that doesn't last for too long again, and then we cut to he's in a big apartment reading a magazine on the floor.
I think it's the hotel.
You think it's the hotel
in Tokyo? It's like straight after the shoot because he's lying on the ground, sort of talking to presumably his girlfriend.
Yes, I believe so. Then we pan to some figurines that he's bought.
Yeah. And he's sort of on the phone saying, "Oh, I've only got to do a few more interviews, and I'll be coming back in a day or two or whatever." And he's like, "Oh, I don't know how long." And then we see the face of one of these, hentai kind of female.
I believe it is meant to be Tifa from Final Fantasy VII, but the hair is wrong. I was trying to figure out. There's three dolls. The first one, I know I recognise. Oh, just dropped a pen. It kind of looks like. Might be called something like Insectoid Man or something like that.
Oh, okay. I guess I didn't pay too much attention. I just saw like a robot-y kind of thing. And
I paused for way too long.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like Dr. Colossus from The Simpsons. I don't know. But yeah. The kind of scantily clad anime doll.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure at first if the facial expression was changing. But
yeah.
It definitely was.
It definitely was because it basically seemed to be that any time he'd say something that you would expect his girlfriend to be a bit miffed with, that the face turned angry, it sort of growled a bit, sort of thing.
And then you hear him say, "Oh, Janey, why can't you just be happy for me?"
Yeah.
So
then we know it must be his girlfriend, and his girlfriend therefore must be called Janey whenever we meet her.
Yeah.
So tiny bit of information, but that again, this scene is only like a minute, 2 minutes long, and then we're Berlin.
We're in Berlin, and it's a photo shoot.
Yeah, with obviously straight away we recognised him, Udo Kier. As the
it's got to be Udo Kier, hasn't it?
Yeah, as the photographer in the scene, and I liked how he was billed in the credits as simply Nazi fashion shoot, which it could have implied something else.
Just because he had like leather trousers on and like a slightly open shirt.
Yeah, and kept saying yeah.
But yeah, this is one of another scene that did make me laugh because it was a little bit weird, a little bit weird.
Yeah, it's a little bit strange. But again, it's up to this point, the film is kind of giving me that vibe. Everything's a bit off kilter. Nothing's normal. It's not exactly our world in a way.
No.
Everything's got a bit of a difference to it. So it kind of helps you to suspend this kind of idea of what the hell is going on in a way and sort of go with it. But again, it's another scene with lots of movement, lots of confusion, flashes.
It was a bit Austin Powers.
Yeah.
You're a tiger, you're turned into a tiger. It was very much that.
Yeah.
And then at some point, I think it's not, what's her name? Sally, is it? Liz May Bryce. She doesn't come in. She's someone comes in and basically rips Udo Kier's shirt off. And he's wearing a big girdle.
He loses it for no reason. It's just that whole kind of, he's really passionate photographer. Oh God! And he just starts pulling all the film out the camera. And I think he starts shouting at this woman, and he's like, "It's all your fault. It's all your fault." And then she knees him in the nuts, and then starts stripping his shirt off.
That's right, yeah.
That's it. And then you see his bridle underneath, the male corset. And after that, he's kind of like,
like all that. Like that's what he needed.
Yeah.
It's artistically charged.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of what hedonism bot. Like, oh yes,
I regret nothing.
Scrape the orgy pit. So it's he kind of like invigorated, then resumes, and then it becomes this whole thing of then Billy starts getting his shirt off, and it's this whole melting.
It gets a little bit sexy and
ooey,
kinky,
and then it cuts to a plane.
Yeah, they're on a plane. He's having a head massage, Billy.
Yeah, by the stewardess.
And there's two people in front of him, and one says to him, Dave says it's a work of genius. And he goes, Dave's a wanker.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Dave's a wanker. Brilliant little, again, 2-second fucking clips. Probably took longer to write the notes than these scenes are on screen for.
I'm going to say, for a 2-second clip, that's probably cost quite a lot to get that set in.
Yeah.
Because you never use it again.
No, but I like it because, again, it's these moments that just break me up with a little because he's just like, oh yeah? Well, Dave's a wanker. Like, hey! It starts to, at this point, because it was a book, wasn't it? As far as we're aware.
Where is it? Oh.
When I start to write the notes down and I'm seeing it like this, it feels like a book to me
Yeah,
because I'm looking at my notes and it's like these 2-second things that you would expect, that these
on a
kind
book,
of characters
you
would say.
You can write these little interjections.
Yeah, so I really like it for that aspect. It probably would read better.
I think maybe, yeah.
Because it wouldn't be as crazy. Yeah. Because then we've got again another cut to.
It's London.
Yeah, it's a magazine with Billy's face on it. And it sort of pulls out, and we see Billy again for a second. But as we go into this scene, we've got this really clubby kind of music.
Yeah, we've got the nightclub music.
And this is why when we sat down and you went, oh, it's the guy that did Blade, I went, oh! Yeah. Because it's very, very the music that's on in the club in Blade, kind of the whole... Boom,
it is very familiar,
yeah. Very energetic, and again, it's kind of this tense... sort of build-up kind of thing, and again, there's frantic cuts of he's walking down the street, and there's like arcades and bells and whistles and cars and traffic and shit. But when we look at him, he's kind of quite slow.
He's in slow motion. Everything else is in fast motion. So he's like swaggering through all the common people.
Yeah. So we sort of see his, let's say, frame of mind. He's so confident in himself that he's just taking it in his stride, kind of literally. Here, which I thought was quite nice. To show that, and he ends up meeting, presumably his girlfriend, because I'm sure he says Jane.
Yeah, it's meant to be. Is it Janey?
Oh, yeah. Janey, yeah.
Played by Kate Ashfield, who you probably recognise as Liz from Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, it took me a little while because I kept thinking, because obviously because it's British, a lot of these faces have been in various TV shows or things that I'm probably more aware of than, let's say, when we watch an American film and it's like, I don't know who that guy is. So it took me a while. I was like, what the fuck? And I think I was about halfway through, and it's the bit later where they're in the club and she introduces herself, and I was like, there she is. So that, again, it was quite nice to see another familiar face in it, sort of thing.
Yeah, she pulls up in a taxi and jumps out. And I kind of thought, there's no way you could time that taxi to pull up exactly where he was.
No, of course, it's bullshit. But I
especially not in London.
Yeah, no, I really like it because she immediately just rips his hair. What are you into that? So again, a nice little chuckle there from me.
And they go into a nightclub called Valve.
Valve, which I've got the note here, strobe as fuck, because I think I nearly had an epileptic.
It was very stroby.
Oh my god, yeah.
And there's a few things I noticed. The first one was smoking indoors.
Yeah. Do you remember that? Remember
when that was a thing? But yeah, everyone's having a nightclub dance, and again, this is where it really resembles the nightclub scene from the opening of Blade.
Yeah, exactly, and it's the whole thing, like he's in the typical 90s white tank top kind of thing,
semi-wife beater.
Yeah,
and he's giving it some. He's doing a proper big fish, little fish cardboard box.
He's pulling some shapes,
and everyone's surrounding him, and
he's getting a bit of adulation from the crowd, and all the females sort of giving him the side eye.
And there's photographers taking pictures behind him.
Yeah, well, like paparazzi kind of thing as well. So it's showing that whatever. Again, we haven't got a clue who he is or what he does, but he's getting renown from somewhere. You know, like he is a celebrity of some status. Yeah. And at this point, rather awkwardly, as he's dancing with his missus.
Believe this.
I didn't realise it was the same character.
I think it is Sally,
or at least the same actress. But we've got Sally, the sexy nurse. And it's a very latexy. In my head, I was like Marilyn Manson-esque kind of sexy nurse. The whole sort of gothic latexy kind of kinky.
Yeah. It's a bit dirty.
Yeah, rather than your standard Halloween costume kind of thing. And she sort of gives him a little note and a little whisper, and then sort of just starts phrasing here, pulling him off the dance floor.
That's right. She takes him by the hand.
Yeah,
and
leads him away.
Janey just kind of follows us.
Yeah, she doesn't look too impressed by it, and I completely agree with her.
I didn't know her name at this point, so I still referred to her as Liz from Shaun of the Dead. I put Liz does not look happy.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, because it's not until the scene in a moment we get her actual name. But yeah, she sort of drags him off.
And then they go down some stairs.
Yeah.
Looks like is a very dirty, kinky, sexy nurses and patients party.
Yeah, it's like a surgery fetish party. It's a bit out there.
There was a lot of bums on show. Lots of male bums.
Yeah, I guess that's what they could get away with. Really.
well,
yeah.
We'll get to later on. But,
it's a bit sordid, and it's a bit weird, and sort of Billy gets led through this sort of sea of kinkery.
Yeah, and you kind of see people looking like they're having tooth surgery done.
Yeah, it all looks a bit weird. It looks like some piercing going on there, and some of the various strange pain-related things.
Yeah.
And then he sort of gets led to the back of this, what we'd call, I guess, the VIP area.
Yeah.
And I love it because there's a big old 90s blow-up chair.
There's a lot of blow-up chairs.
Oh, I loved it.
I like that they're a symbol of heightened success, when they are the worst things to sit on.
Yeah.
If you remember. My sister had one and it was dreadful.
Yeah, because you sort of just slump, and every time you move it goes...
And you don't have to get sweaty.
Oh god, yes.
You get
condensation off those buggers. But they're all loving it. There's a line of people and a couple of people, people gathered around in this VIP section.
So we're introduced to Tasha. She's I think she's one of the women who sat down there.
Yeah, she's a rising star,
That's it.
Because I'm not too... Again, I don't think I caught their names.
No.
There's three guys in suits. One of them who reoccurs, who we've got the name down of. But the lead man there, he kind of... is praising Billy. He's like, "Oh, you're here, and you're not too bad," and whatnot. There's a bit of mutual bum licking going on, because Billy again is like, "Oh, this place is really cool," and doesn't he say something like, "Do the owners mind you having this sort of thing?" And and they're cool.
We are the owners.
Wah! Yeah.
But yeah, we do get introduced to Jason Isaacs' character here.
Yeah.
As Percy.
Yeah.
But this is where Janey's just standing there. And she goes, "Well, my name's Janey."
Yeah.
Like, "Oh, sorry, love. Come on, sit down."
I love that, but I like just before this, they're like they introduce Percy and that, and they say, "Oh, but do you want a drink, Billy?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'll have Hitler's bunker." And I was like, "What?" And he effectively orders an Esther Ranson. So he says it's Schnapps, Goldschlager, and a double absinthe. And they're like, oh, that's a healthy drink. And then suddenly she just goes, hello, I'm Janey, which again had me laughing because I thought that was fucking hilarious. So she's clearly got the hump because she's just sort of stood up behind him at this point. So they eventually offer a seat on the 90s inflatable chair.
And we get a jump cut to the DJ.
Yeah.
DJ Banana, credited name, and that's played by Stephen Graham.
That's the one, yeah.
Who you'll recognise from This Is England.
Yeah.
And he played Atlas in Taboo.
Ooh, yes. Yes. I forgot about that. Yeah.
And pretty much anything set in England, he will be in.
Yeah, anything where he can be a bit of a shady character where you think he might want to thump you.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
He's a thumpy kind of bloke, but he's a good actor.
Yeah, no, exactly. But I mean, that's his role, is the kind of urban gritty kind of thing. You're not going to see him in a Jane Austen.
No,
unless he's a butler or
he's a bit of a Joe Pesci.
Yeah, well, funny how. But yeah, he's there, and it's some shitty reggae kind of, off reggae MCing kind of like, get your titty out for the man, them. Like it's really
skindred.
yeah, effectively. Yeah.
But yeah, so they're explaining that they own the place, and Janey goes, "So you're all drug dealers then?"
Yeah,
and it kind of just kills the mood completely.
Another fantastic line from her. It's great. She basically is like, I'm having no fun.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make sure you.
And I don't like any of you.
Yeah.
And so he pans to Percy, played by Jason Isaacs, and he goes, "Actually, I'm a singer, amongst other things."
Yeah. And then they kind of have a little joke, and he's like, "Yeah, he's a crooner.
He's a regular crooner."
And then it's I don't know why it's meant to be implied that maybe he does sing, but it's something
it's
more
definitely not his. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not his thing.
And at this point, DJ Banana starts mouthing it off. He starts giving it some down the mic.
Yeah, and Percy he looks disgusted by this and just sort of buggers off. He's like, right.
He marches straight up to him and goes, "Just play the records.
Enough of that bollocks."
He goes, "Fuck off."
Fuck off. I love that. What did you say to me? And then it cuts back to Billy again, who's asking about.
There's a door, isn't there?
Intriguing door.
There's an intriguing door in the corner.
And he's given the old, I don't think you want to know what's behind that door, my friend. I don't know why he sounds like Boise. You don't want to go back there, Marlene. I mean, for some
Marlene
reason,
definitely would not want to go back there.
No,
she would.
She would be disgusted. But she gets. It cuts back to again DJ Banana giving it the big end to Percy. I said, "Fuck off!" And then rather expectedly, Percy nats him one.
It's 3 magical nuts on the bonds.
3 magical nuts. Yeah, it was the trifecta. And then he pulls him over the DJ section.
Throws him to the ground.
Quite a raised plinth, so he's got some distance to go there.
And he goes, right, enough of that bollocks.
Enough of that cunt, he says. It's time to go at market. Which, again, hilarious. Because the accent, the demeanour. It's time to go at market. I loved it.
And I thought this was going to be kind of an embarrassing scene for him because he just starts clicking.
Yeah,
and he starts singing Frank Sinatra.
And it was kind of obvious it was going to be Frank Sinatra because he is preened in the manner of a Rat Pack kind of gangstery looking guy.
Was this him singing? Do you think?
No, it sounded awfully just like Frank. But
I don't. Well, he sings. It's not the first time he sings this movie. I think it might be him. So I've heard that he can sing.
I think you might have to do an old fact check there.
3, take 2. And play back.
Well, there you go. I imagine I wouldn't have been able to find that information out.
Yeah, so
but
meh.
Yeah.
But either way, it's a bit obvious, and obviously they set him up there. He's a bit of a crooner. So it's I've got you under my skin.
Yeah.
And it's weird because again he's sort of clicking his fingers to it, and that's creating a bit of a beat. And then he starts doing a little bit of tap.
He does, and then there is a like a spark and a gun. A bang goes off under his foot, and then the music kicks in.
Yeah, it's kind of odd because that's ghost music. There's nobody there for that. So that is implied that it's either all in our collective minds that we hear the music, or never mind how a film works.
It was almost like it went a bit cartoon. It's like a Family Guy cutaway.
It's almost gone into a musical. Music just starts out of nowhere when anyone sings.
Everyone starts dancing around him, and he kind of kisses a woman and slaps her.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because it's great because he's sort of effectively now in this crowd of people in the, again, forgetting we're in the kinky surgery party. And that pans around, and I loved it because there was a guy there who I clocked straight away who's got a gas mask on, and he's just on crutches, kind of going in the background, like
he's dancing around.
He's really getting into it, whereas everyone else is kind of half like, is this weird? Is this cool? I'm not too sure. And he's kind of he's dancing around.
Is this the guy who kicks the crutch away?
Yeah, he does it in a bit. Yeah, because he's sort of what is he doing? He's sort of running around, and he kisses and then slaps that woman, and then he sort of goes up to a guy and sort of lunges him, and then just drops him on the floor.
That's right, yeah.
And then he does a really quick run, and then slide tackles this guy who's the aforementioned gas mask guy on crutches, and he goes straight down to the deck.
And then a woman comes up to him, and he just shoves the microphone in the crotch and goes, "I'll be back for that."
Yeah, keep that one for me.
And then there's a guy in a body bag who's kind of mouthing off, a bit like he doesn't get what's going on.
Yeah.
He's like, "I hate it!"
He's like, "Shut up!" No one...
Needed to stop, or something. I can't remember exactly
he says, "Time to shut up with his Andy Williams bullshit!" And he's kind of, again, he's in like a latex body bag, so again, it's a kinky body bag.
And then two guys just drag him out and beat the shit out of him.
Oh, yeah. They really lay into him. They chuck him down the stairs as well, which...
Well, he kind of cuts back and forth, and then
between him, Percy dancing, and then that. Yeah.
And he kind of gets up off the floor in front of the camera with a really gory face, and he goes, "Oh yeah, give it to me!" And then they just chuck him down the stairs.
Yeah, it's fucking weird, but it's really good.
And then whilst all this is going on, we've got Billy. He's getting his bottom lip pierced.
Yeah, which again is odd because again you can see his girlfriend like, "Why the fuck are you being a dick?" And again, obviously, he's being straddled by another latex-clad nurse woman, and it's all a bit. You wouldn't watch that if you were his missus.
Yeah, is it all actually happening, or is it just is it all exaggerated?
Exactly, and then because it's all these fast cuts again, and then at this point, Percy goes back to the woman, and it's sort of almost a, and he retrieves the microphone from the lady, who I do believe goes, "Oh!"
She does let out a little, I think.
And then he keeps singing, and he's still singing the same song, sort of thing. And then, as this is all still going on in the background, this kind of nonsense, we also then see Billy and Janey go to the aforementioned foreboding door.
They've gone to investigate the door.
And oh my god, what a sight to behold! It's like the Ark of the Covenant.
Well, I'll just read my note.
Yeah.
There is a guy with a fist clean up his ass. But it's not censored whatsoever. It's quite...
Wow, it's in your face.
Well, it's in his ass. Yeah. So he's on all fours on like I suppose like a table.
Yeah.
And he's just got... I'm doing the fist motion. He's got his fist up there.
You're fist bumping. Because he's definitely beyond wrist deep in this guy as well.
Well, and he's got kind of the cow.
Well, it looks like he's got marigolds on.
Yeah, like, he's got the insemination gloves on that go up to the elbow.
Yeah. And it's brilliant because they're obviously, instead of being caught in this situation and being
starstruck.
Well, no, they're starstruck. Oh my god, it's Billy! It's like, you knock him dead, mate! Like, they're really, really kind of... like,
and then he cuts to... I think he just cuts then to outside.
Pretty much.
And he goes to shake...
Yeah, it's kind of like an hour or two later, we're guessing, maybe.
It's the end of the night, yeah.
Yeah, they're exiting the club, and these two guys are like, "Oh, what a night! Wasn't that lovely?"
And I think he turns to Janey and goes, "Oh, best of luck."
Yeah.
And he's still got the big glove and goes to shake her hand.
Yeah, and she's like, "No, I'm probably not going to do that." Because that was, a bit nuts, but I've got to call them the gruesome twosome.
The gruesome twosome.
And then like, "Good night, then."
But they were lovely chaps.
Yeah, lovely chaps.
Absolutely lovely.
Yeah.
Best of luck to him.
That's it. And then we see Billy, who's kind of just sort of spacing out, looking at the Valve sign, the nightclub sign,
logo,
as it's sort of flickering and stuff. And then we get this weird bit again. It's maybe it does make sense a bit later on when we get to the wrap up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
he's like, "I'm doing that."
Yeah. Michael Kagan, I'm making that happen.
That's my lot.
And he starts saying to Janey, it's something to do with electromagnetic pulses to someone who's in a heightened state of emotional, heightened emotional state.
Yeah.
Rather. And he starts sidling up to the lampposts and kind of making them flicker.
But then that starts flickering as well.
Yeah.
But then he's talking again about how he's got a big cranium.
Yeah.
Most people are too stupid to be bothered to try, and ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's a bit later on actually. That's when he's in the bath. Sorry.
Yeah. So then the next scene, but he just keeps stating that he can do this and how
yeah,
he's
sucking power right out the national grid.
That's it. Yeah.
And then she's like, no, there's no way he can be doing that. It's a coincidence. But then he goes over to another lamppost and touches it, and it just cuts the black.
The whole thing goes.
The whole thing collapses.
That's it. So
yeah.
That's our cut then. It's to him. Again, he's in the bath and Janey's sort of washing his hair and scrubbing his back.
For a very long time.
And again, he's doing the same thing again. He's just waffling.
He's just bigging himself up, talking nonsense.
Yeah, and it's again very fast, very in your face kind of. It's to a point where it gets a bit on top of you. You're kind of like, okay, just calm down a bit, dude.
Give me some context,
chill, yeah.
And she's mentioning that she wants to go on holiday. Yeah. It's like, well, I ain't got no money. I can't really afford it. She's like, well, I've got some money saved.
Yeah.
But he clearly doesn't want to leave the limelight and go.
Yeah. Because, again, he's in this trial of... He says people are too stupid to work for their success. They just sit around and yada, yada.
That's it, yeah.
But me, I'm go-getting. I'm all,
I'm out
whatever. There. And she sort of is just like... Oh, and walks off. And then there's a bit of a shot where I guess they're in the bed or they're going to bed or something. What she says, imagine tomorrow your life is going to change forever.
That's it. Get some sleep. Tomorrow's the day your life changes forever.
That's it. Yeah.
And then it cuts to him on a rooftop.
That's it. Sort of early hours of the morning, we're guessing.
And we can see, so it's a scene from The Room.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you can see the BT Tower.
That's it. Yeah. So that's why I said that's why I got the note. He goes to look at the BT Tower, which I thought maybe alluded to the kind of job he's got. I thought, is he going to be on the radio?
Yeah.
Because it's very clearly the BT Tower he's looking at.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously just that he's in central London somewhere, kind of thing. But one of the first cuts in the film that's not technically a scene comes in here is we get this sort of shot of an alleyway.
Yeah, it's
very static, and I couldn't tell whether it was getting darker, whether like the shadows were creeping up. It looked really ominous, and I can't tell whether that was my input and me going, "Oh, is it getting darker?" or whether whether it actually was.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. I think maybe because you get the starting silhouette of the dog running towards the camera.
Yeah, it's just kind of foreboding, isn't it?
Yeah. And we get that shot a few times again in the film, but I think the shots further on in the film, it starts later in the cut of that shot. Yeah. So maybe the darkness is coming forward.
Well, that's it, because the music at this point starts to become quite tense, and we just hear a little bit of that. And that kind of, we start to hear then an unembodied voice, we just hear a voice describing... Is this a shot as well? Because I know it happens later. Is it a shot or is the voice just there?
No, it's a shot as well. And these are the scenes I think I should have paid more attention to, because I think this is probably what the film's more about. So it's a weird voiceover of a girl, and it's a shot of like a child's room.
Yeah.
And it's talking about how she never thought she'd be a model.
How she was a bit too chubby, or she was bigger than everyone else.
And about pig ugly babies and that kind of thing. And it's just kind of slowly zooming in. And everything's pink, and it's got toys everywhere, and it's slowly zooming in on a mirror.
To the dressing table mirror.
Yeah, but we don't quite get there yet. But yeah, she's waffling on as well, talking.
Yeah. This is kind of infatuated with herself kind of thing. Again, very egotistical rambling.
That's it.
And then as that pans in, we just get another straight cut. Monday. And then we're back on the MTV show.
Yeah, with the high adrenaline host, who I wasn't sure if she was meant to be the girl talking.
Ah, okay.
I'm not sure.
Getting further in.
We'll get. But so basically, this is post the day that might have changed his life forever.
Yeah, so it's kind of like it's the big day, it's the review, the final results have come in. How well did Billy do?
At being a celebrity.
And I love it. It was great again, because this bit made me laugh.
Yeah.
Because she goes, "It's time for Billy's blast off. How did he do, lads?" And the two guys go, "It's bollocks! Nuke him!
They're going to nuke him."
And then I was like, right, brilliant, honest reviews, fantastic.
And it jump cuts to two other shows as well.
Yeah.
And they're kind of describing his performance, and he's like, there's like a posh old guy in a chair. He's like, he's being consumed by his own charisma. It's just not good enough.
Yeah.
You can produce a pile of crap in the corner and say it's art.
Yeah, I loved it because he was brilliant. He's like, it's not even elephant shit or dog shit. It's like, he was like, I really like this little scene because then there's another guy on another show, and it's like, I don't know, what is it called? It's like cranium to cranium or something like that. And again, he's like, it's just not original. I don't like it. It's not great. I don't like it.
And he said quite a good line here where he goes, success will be measured in 100 years.
Yeah.
And I quite like that. But the whole time this is happening, we've got Billy sat in a chair, like slumped in a chair in his apartment.
Yeah.
And everything's crashing down around him.
I like that. I thought that was one of the more obvious visual representations of emotion in the film, because it was great. Because you're getting like this sort of earthquakey thing. You know, all the shit on the walls is vibrating, and pots and pans are falling down. You know, I'm pretty sure some shit falls off the ceiling or whatnot.
Probably, yeah.
You know.
As they're saying all these slanderous things about him.
It's great. So it's a great.
It's a good visual metaphor for his world crumbling down.
Yeah, literally his world falling apart. Yeah, it's really cool.
And it jumps back to it's back to Valve, the club.
Mm-hmm.
He's dancing again, trying to giving all the same kung fu moves.
Yeah,
but people just aren't interested.
Nah, the crowd is visually disdainful with him. They're kind of like, we were only with you for the fame, and now that you're shit,
it's kind of like a joke now.
Yeah, exactly.
He makes his way downstairs to where the saucy party was.
Yep.
And there's just a bloke clearing up.
Yeah, and there's nothing much there at all. And he sort of asks where the orgy's moved on to, and he says, "No, they've all moved on, mate.
I'm just clearing up after him there.
That's it. I just clear up everybody else's mess, and that's it."
Then it's shots of him walking down. I don't know. It's kind of shots of London streets.
Yeah.
And then they keep getting to the point where he walks in front of the camera and it kind of freeze frames.
Yeah, and it's again from the last time we saw him, let's say, walking down the street, where he was nice and calm and relaxed, and everything now is off kilter. He's very displaced within this scene. Again, there's lots of the nauseating, blurry movements and kind of thing. And as he's walking down the street, you just sort of get this woman sort of sidle up to him and just go, "Are you Billy Byrne?" And again, I love all this abrupt kind of, "I'm Janey," kind of, "You Billy." It's all very shouty kind of thing. I quite like it. And it's great because she's like, "Oh, you must feel shit after all that."
Yeah, you must be depressed after all that high. Must really hurt to lay a turd.
That's it. Yeah.
All that squeezing and out comes a big brown trout.
Fantastic.
But he's being quite rude to her.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, fuck off." But she sort of says to him, I liked
you did,
it. And he starts saying, "Oh, well, yeah, if you liked it, that just proves you've got a large cranium then." And she sort of goes into this kind of vaguely conspiracy kind of thing. She's like, "Oh, well, cranium size is a concept invented by the Nazis."
Yeah, Second World War propaganda.
Exactly.
Based on no fact. So the size of it's meaningless.
Yeah, exactly. But it's this kind of like quick exposition not exposition, but these quick kind of factoids or whatever that again make me feel it's very like reading a novel. You know, how the character just kind of comes up. It's all bollocks, isn't it? Yeah, it's very to me.
It is very novelesque, or maybe even stage play possibly.
But but to me it feels like the kind of thing that
it wasn't
Douglas Adams would have written. It's that kind of everyone's a cheeky character. No one's just bland. They've all got a bit of we're going to have a pop at you kind of thing.
The dialogue really wasn't written to be visual. It was just, here's a line that's going to prove a point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and then we're going to move on quickly.
And I think those ones are probably the ones that are taken. If again we were correct, if it is a book or whatever, that are the ones that would actually have come from that actually give you the real. Things that should have been said in the scene versus all the the rattling off of just random shit that wouldn't have made anything any better. But at this point again, I can't remember if we get her name.
He asks her, "What's your name?" because she's being nice to him, and he goes, "Emma." And he goes, "You look freezing." And she goes, "Spare a little change."
But that's what's weird is that she's billed as, she says Emma.
Yeah.
But for the rest of the film she's billed as Anna.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's why maybe I thought I just misheard when she did say Anna.
Maybe because I think I misheard a lot of names in this.
Yeah, because
I thought Janey was called Jamie.
Yeah.
And then, until IMDb it's Janey.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just the over pronunciation.
But either way, it's the same actress. It is Emily Corrie.
Yeah.
Who's kind of turned up, and she's. You kind of get the idea she's let's call her a street urchin.
I'm gonna say street rat.
Street rat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, she's like, "Oh, can you fancy buying me something to eat," sort of thing, and for some reason he's like, "Yeah, go on then."
So they're in a cafe now.
Yeah. So
I don't know if you had the same thought as me, but I think it's meant to be about 3 a.m.
Yeah, it's meant to be early.
In England, cafes and diners aren't open that late.
They're not usually open past 5.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I mean, it's, again, I guess we're led to believe in London everything happens all the time.
Unless it's really early in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, again, with the films and that, we don't know how much time's passed, how long they've been walking and talking for, getting to know each other.
But it's fine. It doesn't matter.
No, it's neither hither nor thither.
He's buying her food. That's all that matters.
That's it. And basically we get the idea. Yeah, she's got no money.
The pasta she was eating looked quite nice.
It did. And then she gets like a bowl of soup and just necks it.
Just drinks it straight out the bowl.
Good lash. Can
I have pudding?
Yeah, I love that. Can I have some pudding then?
But during that we get a shot of her bag which starts groaning.
Yeah, well, growling. I would say. Yeah, it's a very, again, if it was written down, and then her bag growled, and he went, "What the fuck?" It kind of lends it to me.
I think the growling bag is one of the weirdest parts of the film.
It is. It is definitely. Yeah.
I mean, he kind of asks about it, and she says to him that she's kind of explained to him that he's in trouble.
Yeah, she says your self-esteem's low.
He's threatened.
Yeah.
And he's took it personally. And then he goes like, "What's in the bag?" And she says that he's avoiding her analysis.
Yeah.
So he's trying to dive the topic.
Yeah, but he's like, I'm not avoiding it. I just want to know what's in the bag.
Yeah. And she tells him that failing can be artistically beneficial.
That's it.
And
then she says, "Can I have pudding?"
Can I have pudding?
Pudding!
Pudding!
And then again we get another cut there. So he's in bed.
He's in bed with Janey.
And he's again spouting off all this self-righteous shit.
Bollocking on something mega.
So he's now trying to pass off the fact of exactly what Janey has just said to him, because he even then just says, "Oh yeah, failing can be artistically beneficial." And so he's just re-spouting all this shit that he's heard from somewhere else.
And he does say a line which really annoyed me, because he's on about the norms. And said most people spend their lives making cups of tea and pieces of toast. I love a cup of tea and a piece of toast. That is not a waste of time.
Breakfast, dickhead.
Yeah.
What's your problem?
Just in between snacks.
Yeah, exactly. Well, toast is always good, especially when you're a student.
And this was the point when he said that. I was like, I want this guy to fail.
Yeah, I want him to fuck right off.
The truth of the matter is that deep down there's a whole world of mediocre talent out there, scrabbling, desperate to get out of the gutter. So failing can be artistically beneficial, I think. It's like a gift. Clarity. A coffin with your name coming down the corridor, getting closer and closer, making genius imperative.
You can see visibly here, Janey is just getting tired of his bullshit.
She's bored shitless of this guy.
And she does she get up at that point?
No, I think it just cuts to him in the shop.
Okay, because he says something about wasting your life and all this sort of stuff. So obviously she's just sort of blah with him. But yeah,
she's not responding at all. She's just like, yeah, okay.
Another one of the really cool scenes, though, this bit in the shop I liked.
Was it the shelf of pot noodles?
Yeah, well, yeah, because that's exactly what he does. He peruses the store and goes straight for the pot noodle.
Which he then goes and fills up at the counter. And he's like, "You're going to pay for that, mate?" He's like, "Yeah," but then he walks off to the porn mags.
He goes to the top shelf, doesn't he?
The top shelf nudie mags, which surprisingly were uncensored.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, again, after we've just seen a man being fisted.
That is true, yeah. Anything goes.
Anything goes.
But then we get the shifty bloke in the long coat who walks over, looking like a cross between Richie from Bottom and Carl Pilkington.
Yeah, so essentially a massive pervert.
A massive pervert.
And I love this line because
you can do the line.
Oh, fantastic! Because whilst he's sort of looking at this and thumbing through, he's kind of keeps making awkward eye contact with him. I love it because he just sort of, again, he gets closer and closer to Billy and he just goes, "When you shoot your beans, think of me."
He just does it. He does the face, goes,
and it's so horrible. And then he just goes and walks out.
Just walks out.
That was horrible. So at this point, Billy's like, "Yeah, I'll probably just pay and leave now." Then I guess.
Yeah, so he goes to the counter to pay, and then the guy behind the counter just pulls out a machete.
Yeah, well, it's a massive cleaver, isn't it?
Massive cleaver, yeah, that's it. And he just grabs him by the scruff.
He's like, "Give me all your money."
Put it on put it in my pocket.
Yeah, I love how he made him put him in his pocket.
Yeah, he's like, "Go on now, fuck off."
Fuck off. Do you want a napkin?
He's like, "Don't you want your shopping?" Comes back for his poor mag and his pot noodle.
Yeah.
But yeah, just robbed by the cashier.
Yeah, again, if again this film is trying
I think it's a metaphor.
Again, yeah, as artistically free as it can be, it's always getting robbed for buying a pot noodle. He's getting charged too much, kind of thing.
Yeah, he's being robbed by the people he's trying to give to, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and again, the basically saying as well, the shopkeeper is effectively, it's daylight robbery, and then they've got the cheek to say, "Do you want a napkin with that, mate?"
That's it.
So again, you can start to see the more you see the film, these aspects of it trying to be more overtly opinionistic in its views rather than just being a bit of a weird scene. But then after that point, he's out, and then he's on the tube.
He's reading his porn mag on the tube.
Yeah, because you do.
You do. And we get the homeless guy come around asking for change, and he's got some in his pocket which he gives him, and he goes, "Is that it?" And he's like, "Oh, I got mugged," and he goes, "Fucking bastard!" He storms off down the carriage.
I loved it.
I love British swearing; it's so good.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the thing for this, because it is that because it is British, and it's the sort of swearing that British people do. For some reason,
the amount of time people said bollocks really made me happy.
And those are my for some reason the list of my top funniest swear words are bollocks, twat, and bastard.
Twat is brilliant.
And prat, because I think we get a prat later on. For some reason they're comical to me. I don't know why. Yeah. They don't seem aggressive. They're just kind of funny in my mind.
I think maybe it's just the British way of swearing. We do it. It's in our lexicon as just normal dialogue. We don't say it to be malicious. It's just funny.
No, and the regional accent as well. Like Cockney is always quite funny for swearing, same as Welsh and stuff like that. To me, if it creates a kind of juxtaposition, and I really like it. But
we were just missing someone calling someone else a toilet. You toilet.
Yeah.
I mean, we would have had the full
that's
set.
That's the kind of thing. Yeah. But I really like that, because he sort of walks off, and then again I couldn't tell whether this was meant to be some sort of.
I think it's meant to be a metaphor.
Yeah, well, again. But I couldn't tell whether he was freaking out or whatnot. But you see this. I don't want to call him. I feel harsh to him, but he is like a grotesque, deformed beggar.
He's credited as Cancer Man, but he kind of looks like he looks a bit like a witch, but he also looks a bit like, if you watched what's that David Lynch film? Is it Inland Empire? Ooh. The one where he's having a conversation with the guy from Happy, the guy who's got no crotch.
Yeah.
He's telling him about a nightmare he had about a guy, and then he walks around the back of the canteen and he springs out. Basically, he looks like a hobo with boils and things all over his face.
Spare a little change for a bottle of vodka, mate. Okay, spare us 20 quid so I don't have to do this all day.
I don't have any.
All right, how about I give you a little change? It's cancer, mate. Horrible story. Suffice it to say, I've only got a few months to live, so the price of a couple will be greatly appreciated.
Mate, I'll give you everything I have. I've already given it another geezer.
Bollocks. Just carry on.
A bit old grey, maybe, I suppose you could say.
Yeah, but I would say like something out of the sort of Lord of the Ringsy kind of trolley, bulbous kind of, growthy kind of face.
Like he's made of cork.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got a big boil on his nose.
But he's quite a well-mannered one. Anyway, he's like, spare change. He goes, oh no, I can't. But I love it. He gets increasing requests, because he's like, have you got any spare change? You got 20 quid, so I haven't got to do this all day.
That's right. He's like, you got any spare change for a bottle of vodka?
Yeah. Very oddly specific.
Yeah.
But I love that. I love that request. 20 quid, so I haven't got to do this all day.
Yeah, at least he's being very honest.
Yeah, exactly. And he again, Billy explains that he's just given everything to the last guy, and he goes, "Oh bollocks! Has this carriage already been begged?"
Yeah. He's like, "How about the mag?" He's like, "Yeah, fine."
Yeah, and I quite like that, because he just the whole sort of, "Whoa, give her one." Look at the melons on that.
Yeah, he was cracking, and he offers him his watch, doesn't he? He goes, "You can have that," and he goes, "Oh no, those things are dangerous. Last thing I need to do is be reminded of the time."
Exactly, and again, I like that, because that builds him to me as that sort of mythical Obi-Wan in disguise, kind of prophetic kind of character. You shouldn't be concerned with that.
He's come to point out a fact.
Yeah. And again, there's a weird line, because obviously his growth extends, he's got these huge, because he says, "What's up with you?" And he goes, "Cancer." And because he's got all this shit over his arms and stuff, and he's like, "Well, how do you pull one out?" And he's like, "Oh, trust me, there are ways." Kind of thing. He's like, "I've got good at it," kind of thing. So a bit of a weird exposition. Well, not exposition, but then he sort of walks out of frame.
And then we're back in the it's in the Stoner attic.
That's it, and Billy again mouthing off, chatting shit about everything, arts, context.
What I did really like again in this scene is you had you got the desk and all the monitors around, kind of Matrix style.
Yeah.
But this was before flat screen monitors. I've never seen a monitor that big. It must have been a big telly. Sorry, I've got to point that out.
Yeah.
It's what's his name? The Irish guy.
Garvey.
Yeah, he's doing some work. I think he's meant to be a photographer, because he mentions his pictures.
Yeah, I mean it's something going on there. Again, they're sort of blurry and and kind of oh god, what's the word? I want to say surrealist, but you can't really make out what shit is and stuff like that. But to me, it looked like there was like little clips of like maybe the Statue of Liberty or something like that.
Yeah, or like
it looked like there might have been landmarks.
CCTV almost.
Yeah, it had a weird feel to it. But he's sort of talking about it, and Billy's talking about resonance and saying how the art isn't enough unless it resonates with someone.
The reasoning of the work has to be important.
Yeah, exactly. So he sort of says to Garvey, like, the reason that I like your work is because I know you, and I know you've made the work, and that's the context, and therefore that gives me the resonance. The resonance is that I'm taking from it what I think you've put into it.
That's right. All creative art is meaningless unless you present them in a context, he says.
Yeah, and then Garvey kind of comes back straight back at him with, well, that's horseshit, because you're just giving yourself an excuse for all your stuff to have been shit because you say it lacks resonance because people don't know you enough. Art should stand on its own, no matter what it is. It should be able to have a thing. And is this sort of back and forwards where they're sort of having this discussion about it? And
midway through this, the guy in the fur coat goes, "Bad boy,
bad boy!" Yeah, because he's kind of coming down on Garvey's side, like you let him have it, you tell him.
And he goes, "What did you do this week?" And he goes, "Can't remember."
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of like he's the everyman, whereas everyone else is the warring factions, the left and right wing or whatever. So that's quite fun.
But I think it crucially it kind of points out that guy isn't keeping track of time.
Yeah,
he doesn't know what a week is. He's
out of it. He doesn't care. It's this kind of ignorance is bliss in a way.
Living in the moment.
Yeah. And so again, there's another scene where obviously we're getting more tense. The relationship between Billy and Garvey, they're becoming more oppositional.
Yeah, more standoffish.
They're getting a bit more intense. But then we get another shot. Then we get back to the disembodied voice again. Yeah, with this panning shot. And again, it's always very contrasting, this shot, because it's very pinky, very light coming in through the gossamer curtains.
Can't be ignored.
No, compared to what we've always got in the other scenes, which is quite a dark, grubby kind of feel to it. So we see this comfortable kind of environment with the voice again going, well, I'm doing well, I'm and she's talking about modelling and saying, I think that she's going to get booked. Or
she's got the show.
Yeah. So I think she's on the up and up, and again, the more we listen to her, the more she disappears in her own rectum kind of thing. She's, and it's great, but I'm getting it because I'm this, and I'm very popular right now, and yada, yada, yada. And again, it's a quick cut, then back to this boardroom.
It's the office, isn't it?
Or the office with the manager, isn't it?
Yeah, no, the humping dogs.
That's it, yeah. So that's Mitchell Walsh or whatever his name is the manager. And
they're talking about pushing the envelope.
Yeah, and
he thinks what Billy is doing is an evolutionary quantum step.
Yeah.
Stunning achievement.
He's still really enthused by Billy at this point. And he says something weirdly here, Billy, about we need to supply our own light or something.
However fast the darkness, you got to provide your own light.
That's it.
Because someone says to him, your last one was shite, and he goes, well, it went down well in Japan.
Yeah. And he kind of gets sort of almost buffeted out, hurried out of the meeting. Anyway, Billy, well, I'll talk to you. I love you. Let's see you later.
Because he's on about changing the way he's working, basically, because he's had this slight revelation. He says, we think you have potential, but shouldn't you stick to what you're doing well?
Yeah, stick to what you know.
Yeah. And he goes, integrity, that's rich coming from a suit like you. And he storms off of his portfolio.
That's it. And then at that point, the two guys who we never really get the names of, I believe Jarman and Price. Who
we'll go with that.
I was just calling them the cokeheads.
The cokeheads.
Because they pretty much just sit there and do coke off the table and give not really brilliant input to the conversation.
So at this point, Billy's stormed off, but he hasn't left the doorway, basically.
He's kind of doing the old pondering just outside that gives him enough time to see that Jarman and Price have bought in this portfolio, and as he can see it through the window, he can see whose work it is.
It's Garvey's work.
It is.
He says, perhaps you'd be interested in a new client. Mm-hmm. So he knows it's his Irish friend now, and it cuts straight back to them having a storming row.
Yeah, and it's basically fuck off, you fuck off.
Yeah.
And it's weird because what we see then is more deterioration in their relationship, and you kind of see the guy.
He starts to blame Garvey, saying you're jumping on my bandwagon, he's basically stealing his ideas.
Yeah,
and we get a shot of a maggot in a glass.
Yeah, and a cup on the side. I think as well the guy who's there, the guy in the fur coat or whatever. I can't remember if he's kind of passed out at this point.
I think isn't he looking a bit distraught?
He's looking a bit because
he's looking worried,
malaised. Because I think it's kind of the situation of he can see their relationship deteriorating over something, and I think his character perspective is very of the moment, of the, you know, have fun, no, come on. So
but this will break all that down.
So to him, it's very destructive behaviour, and I love that then, because that smash cuts to Wagamama's.
It's Wagamama's, isn't it?
It just is.
It's
yeah.
but like, was that around in 2001? I guess it must have been.
Must have been.
I guess it would have been early doors, maybe.
Yeah.
Because I noticed a lot in the earlier shots. It didn't half pan to McDonald's.
Yeah.
A lot. So I guess maybe they were, I don't know how long they've been around for. Probably started off in London. So yeah, sponsor.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, look, it made me want to go to Wagamama's.
Yeah. Well, everything does.
So yeah, it's Billy, and he's talking to Janey and Wagamama. Well, he's talking at Janey and Wagamama.
Again, talking at her. Yeah.
He's saying that it took him 10 years to get where he was, but he ain't got the chops for it.
He's wasted it.
Yeah, and he's never invoked an opinion.
Yeah. And he's just, it's self-pitying. He's just, I can't go on. I've wasted it.
And she just basically just bursts.
Yeah, I love it. Shut up! Shut up!
Why don't you just stop moaning?
Yeah.
You've had a setback. You're boring.
Yeah, and this is the bit where I was really like, it really is her from Shaun of the Dead, because that's the exact sort of tirade she does to him in that. And she basically opens up a can of truth on him about his whining and not taking ownership for his own shit.
Right up his own arse, self-obsessed.
Yeah.
And she says, how can you expect to say anything profound about life when the point of your life is not having a life?
Yeah. So she basically tears him a little new one.
Says no one can drag you out of a struggle because that's exactly where you want to be.
Yeah, exactly. So you again, it's this whole sort of I think whether they touch on it in it. So obviously he's meant to be some kind of artist. That in the idea of the artist, you have to be, you know, poor old me. You have to be
self-indulgent,
struggling, and it's that aspect of emotion. The emotional state of the artist has to be that of turmoil for it to be any good. And she's just like, I fucking had enough, you know.
Yeah, and this is what I always like about British dialogue, because she just says it in a realistic way. She goes, "I'm not having a nice time.
Yeah.
This isn't my idea of nice.
Yeah.
Annie Hall was nice, and that and that is shit." I mean, she says, "Oh, this is shit.
And this is shit." Yeah.
Annie Hall was nice, and this is shit.
Yeah. And she basically just says to him, "Well, why don't you just go to a bar and meet someone else?"
Yeah, like, all over again.
Yeah, and tell her, list all your crap to someone else all over again, and then asks for the key to her apartment.
And why not give me back my key?
Yeah.
But then it cuts to Valve again.
Yeah.
But we don't get any shots of inside. It's just him straight away. He's down on the ground with his pants down.
Yeah.
I think he's covered in sick, and a man just comes in and starts brooming the wall, shouting at him.
Yeah. Get out! Because he's not in the club. He's in like a side, like a boiler room kind of corridor maintenance way, just fucking monged out, like he's done for.
I think he's probably tried to go back down to the room where the sexy kinky stuff happened, maybe. But yeah, he's just passed out there. He's been sick on himself. His trousers down. They throw him out into the street, and he goes to try the old light trick again.
Yeah, and he looks rough because
he does look rough.
At this point, that was the most offensive thing. Never mind the anal fisting or anything else. Just the speckled vomit on his shot.
Yeah, it was very.
Oh my god, dude! Come on, take the jacket off for fuck's sake. Yeah, and he tries to do his whole, I'm going to make the lights flicker thing again.
Doesn't work
because he's literally hit rock bottom, I believe.
And if that couldn't get any worse, out of nowhere, two blokes just run straight up and beat the shit out of him and pull his trousers down
and rip his clothes
and just rob him blind.
Yeah.
But then one of them has a bit of a change of heart. He's like, "How are you going to get home?"
I love that. He was like, come on. Yeah, I have 20 quid. Get in a black cab. Make sure it's a real black cab.
Can't trust them no licensed bastards.
I love it.
And the other one goes, "You got to stop doing that." And they just leg it.
Yeah, can't keep doing this. So good. And then he's in the cab, and what is quite nice is this scene is almost the reversal for Billy. He's the one that's sitting there, and the cabbie is doing the fast paced.
And it's I can't remember his name, but he's an actor from Lock, Stock. He's the guy who I think he's the guy who owns the gun, or he steals the guns originally. Let's have a quick look.
Oh, in Lock, Stock.
In Lock, Stock, yeah. Frank Harper. There we go. Yeah, and he's playing the cabbie, but
and a stereotypical outspoken British, maybe.
Probably more racist than most British cabbies.
I was going to say EDL sort of guy.
But
I mean, he warms up to that because he just starts, don't shit in the cab. I'm going to fucking chuck you out. You shit in the cab and all this sort of stuff.
That's right. He's talking about I think he's talking about how his wife was having sex with his brother.
Oh God, it was brilliant.
So I steamed in, didn't I, with this cricket bat I got nails in, and he just holds it up.
Yeah. Quite bloodied, and also
bosh across the head. He went down. He won't go down.
He won't go down.
And then it just cuts to a scene of him. He set him on fire.
Yeah, so he says, "So I set him on fire." Yeah.
The smell was extraordinary.
Yeah. And then he gets into a scene that's it's the same scene rather, but then he starts spatting out some very racist things.
Well,
but
there's the C word.
But there's the crux of it is that a black person is being racist to Indians. So obviously he uses every expletive under the sun for every kind of racial slur. Starts talking about the Jewish race. Everything is thrown in there. It's not.
So I rushed in with my crowbar, didn't I? Yeah. And he melted away like a Jew in Fort Knox. Now I got a Dunkirk and get the fuck out lively.
Jesus, he sort of goes for that.
And he's on about how he went into an art exhibit and had a little look round, to better myself.
Yeah.
And sees a dried up shit labelled England. And they ask him if he'd like a tour.
A
tour around a pile of shit.
I love that. And he goes, "Fuck me backwards with a bucket." It's so good. And then as soon as he's saying this, Billy reenacts a scene from The Exorcist.
Just projectile vomits.
All over. Fuck. And then obviously the driver promptly crashes the car, I believe.
That's right.
And then we get a shot of Billy waking up in an alleyway.
Is he waking up in an alleyway?
Well, so he's walking down the alleyway.
He's walking down the...
Yeah.
Isn't he? I thought... Isn't not walking down the marketplace from EastEnders?
That's it. But he's sort of walking just around the streets at night, and you see a shot of...
It's a homeless man.
Mad guy saying something about 13th tribe to the 14th tribe, 40th tribe. I don't know what he's on about.
Yeah, he's kind of speaking in tongues or scriptures or something.
He just keeps going on about tribes, and you see the market stalls. Again, this is why I like the film, because it's all this typical Britishy kind of shit. You recognise it, and it's the market stalls that have, they've had the tarps taken off them, but the frames are still there. But the strobe lights, the
street lights,
the fluorescent lights and stuff are still there, and that.
He's trying to flick them again.
Yeah,
and then out of nowhere, Emma just walks in and goes, "Lights only work if you don't try."
Yeah,
how you know it's really working then?
Well, yeah, exactly. So she reoccurs and decides, she takes pity on him. She's like, "You need to get cleaned up."
Yeah. So she takes him to. I don't know what public bathroom has a shower in it.
I don't know. Yeah, but because he's just in a towel, isn't he?
He comes out in a towel and he goes to have a wee. And there's a guy cleaning up over the other side of the urinals who just stares at it the whole time he has a wee.
Eye contact the whole way.
Yeah.
And then there's a weird little scene where he's kind of he sort of goes, okay, finishes up, and then goes to the mirrors where there's sort of two old men who look a bit dapper.
They're in suits, and I thought one of them was Tom Waits.
Yeah. And they're kind of just sort of combing their hair and having brushed teeth and stuff. So it's weird, because at this point I'm like, well, is it a toilet or is it like the YMCA?
It might be a service station, because some service stations they have.
Well, we see it is a toilet. After, because when she goes outside, you see it's like the stairs going.
Oh,
up,
of course, yeah.
But at that point, they sort of give him a side eye, and there's a bit of weird eye contact, awkwardnessy stuff.
Yeah.
And at that point, two skinheads come in.
Two homosexual skinheads come in and give the guy a $5.
Yeah. And then very happily get into a cubicle.
Yeah, he opens the cubicle door for them. Yeah. In you go, sirs.
And at this point, I thought, is something going to happen? Are they going to go, "What are you looking at?" But no, they were again two very mild-mannered, very happy skinheads.
Green bomber jackets, and they went
about to go and bum, presumably.
Well, I mean, why not? You've paid your money. You do as you please, sir.
Exactly.
She comes in and gives him some gives him some brand new clothes. So he gives him like a quite nice shirt.
Yeah, but then she gives him some trousers, and he says, "Oh, these are full of glass."
Yeah,
which I thought was a bit weird. He's like, "These strides are full of glass."
That's right. Yeah.
Who says strides for one? But
well, I'm going to start calling my trousers strides from now on.
Yeah, fair enough.
And someone's going to go, "That's so 2001." I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
But then he's like, "Oh, I'm going home."
Yeah. She said, "No, come with me." And where are you staying off? And he's like, "No, I really want to go home."
She wants to go with him. She's like, "Oh, I'll come with you." He's like, "No, I just want to go home." And he gives her a kiss on the cheek. But she runs after him because she's still got his keys.
Yeah.
And she throws them to him, and then he realises, "Oh, I haven't actually got anywhere to stay tonight."
That's because I was kicked out. Yes, I remember now.
Yeah, so she kind of takes him into like an underground catacomb.
Yeah, it's weird. Through like a hatchway with a big chain on it.
Yeah, and it's like a weird scene because they start running.
Yeah,
in slow motion, with like really loud footsteps, and there's like big stage lights on the walls.
Yeah.
And he's like chasing after her, and really eerie music starts playing.
Well, I thought we just got into Prince of Darkness, and they were back underneath the church or something.
There is a running theme with all the films we've done. There's always like a man speaking in tongues. There's always ominous music.
But it was quite a cool shot. I mean, obviously it was this weird, I don't know why they're running.
It's his descent to the underground, the darkness, isn't it?
And it's quite weird because as they go around, you see there's just people running everywhere.
Yeah.
More people come out, and there's children just sort of flitting in the shadows and running in and out as things.
And she kind of veers off to the left, and someone stood watching him.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he kind of catches up with her in the end.
Yeah, she's sort of come this way, come this way.
It's a bit Mad Max Thunderdome.
Yeah,
because there's children everywhere.
Yeah. And then she sort of takes him to, presumably, her little shanty shacky kind of thing that's under there. There's all these makeshift, kind of like table forts, and like people sleeping under a table with a blanket over it, kind of thing.
And she's like, "You can stay in my bed."
Yeah.
He's like, "Well, where will you stay?" She's like, "I'll be all right."
Yeah.
But then he kind of has a little look around her room, and there's what looks like a ballet dress hanging up on a big mirror.
Mm-hmm.
And a picture of himself is on the wall.
Yeah, from one of his magazine covers.
He flicks it in the face
for some reason, and then he can sort of hear this rambling kind of mad maniacal voice out in the distance,
and he kind of sees it's a guy in one of these kind of built up shacks in the middle.
Yeah. And he just sort of again, it's another madman, and he keeps saying something about got to put out the light, put out the light.
That's what I've got to know. I wasn't sure whether he put out a light or he says it. So yeah, if he says that. But then he kind of just comes up through a cellar door. Does our Billy?
Yeah.
And he realised that they're under a theatre.
Yeah.
Because they walk out onto the stage pretty much.
Mm-hmm. And you can see that she, Anna there, is preparing to sort of bunk down, behind the curtain or whatever on stage, and she's got a little blanket and whatnot. And he's like, well, how do they not know you're here, kind of thing? And she's like, oh, we're the little mice under the floorboards.
That's right.
No one knows we're here. And there's this very, it seemed like just maybe a beat too long. A big shot of the theatre.
I thought it was going to slowly fade in and people sat there.
Yeah, no, but it kind of hung on that for a bit, and I was like, oh, did I pause it?
See, even at this point, I thought, oh, this is probably a metaphor for him kind of going underground his own fame, and how can people not pay attention to him?
Yeah.
When he's that close to whatever it was that he was before.
Because he says something about you can really feel the silence here. And then weirdly, and I know I had a problem with this. Then it sort of. Quick cut of the chandelier, which makes an audible glass tinkling sound. I was like, well, that's noise. Well, don't illustrate silence with noise. But I got it. I got what they were saying there. And she says something about there's loads of ghosts. This place has the ghosts of hopes and of people's dreams and of smiles to the gallery. And you can feel the presence of this, need to be wanted or to be adulated.
And she says something like, yeah, we kind of spend our lives spending, but we never give a thought to what we're buying.
Yeah.
Actually, sometimes this place feels like a morgue.
Mm-hmm. So again, that's another allude to the idea of time being a commodity of because she really leans hard on that spend our lives. So it kind of shows that, and then you see her doing the weird little ballerina tiptoe thing, and it's kind of like, okay, you see
stands on her feet. Yeah.
That's it. You see that, and obviously that inference with the ballerina dress in her shack or whatever.
Yeah, which is clearly made for a little girl.
Yeah,
because it's small, it's old and dirty.
That's it. So it's kind of that forgotten childhood dream, and that need and want. So it shows that even her character is not exempt from this, kind of thing.
But he goes to bed at this point.
Yeah, he tucks in.
And then we see the bag again, the groaning bag.
Yeah.
But then we get another great scene. Which I thought, what is she doing with her hand? So she's squatting next to him.
Yeah, and she's kind of it's a weird one because it's if it was shown as the two of them spending the night together, you'd understand why. But she's kind of just in her pants and a vest.
Yeah,
sort of squatting down next to the old immersion heater next to him in the morning.
She's kind
trying
of
to wake him up.
But she kind of reaches back with her hand towards her bum.
Yeah.
And then you realise that she does a fart in it and just throws it into his face.
She fart cups him. It's amazing. And he's like, oh.
But then it's also playing some sort of weird island music, like some sort of
like Hawaii.
That's it, yeah. But this is the point where he notices all the scars on her ankles.
Well, just this big sort of snaking thing on her leg.
So we know that whatever's happened, that's why she can no longer be a ballerina.
Yeah. And then I've got the note here. At this point, Howard Stern's crazy brother comes in.
Yeah. No, I thought he looks like Whistler from Blade.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Along with a rat pack of kids.
Oh, that's it. And he comes in and abruptly pulls a knife on him, doesn't he?
He even does a please sir from Oliver Twist line.
Yeah.
So he's supposed to be Fagin, basically.
Well, basically, because what we see at this point is that everybody else in the room, is children. That there aren't meant, like, pretty much it seems to be that Anna and Grimshanks were the only adults there. Before Billy arrived. And he kind of pulls a knife on him, and one
of the kids goes, "Stick him, Shanks!
Stick him!
Prepare your bosom for his knife."
And then Shanks sort of looks at him like, "Yes, that's a good line. I like that," because you kind of set up here that Grimshanks is some kind of disoriented actor that never really made it and is a bit embittered by everything.
That's right, because Billy says, "I'm a minor celebrity. I'll be missed." And I think one of the I think Shanks is talking about this when he goes, "He was a minor celebrity too, and I stuck him, cut him up, and threw him in the river."
Yeah. And then the kids kind of come in with that. What was it? His guts were floating on the top, and the rest fell to the bottom.
Except his teeth. And then he's got him in a little. One of the kids rattles a thing.
And he's like, "And I'll keep your teeth as well."
And I think Emma's like, "No, he's all right."
He's
and
all
then
right.
The kid goes, "She likes him," and they all go, "Ooh."
I like it because because obviously she's given him some clothes, and she holds out his arm. And he's wearing a jumper and sort of alludes to the fact it's still got the safety tag on it, so like maybe he stole this, so maybe he's a thief as well. Let him stay. He can look after himself.
He's like, we could do an extra pair of hands, someone of the legal age. And then one of the kids kind of commentates on Billy thinking, he goes, "He's reviewing the situation."
Yeah, it's really weird, but I quite like that. And then that sort of goes from that scene sort of wraps up, and they go to
it's the overground again, yeah.
Well, yeah. And they're sort of going through the tube stations, and Janey, Anna is showing him the finer points of pickpocketing, basically, and just doing the whole, it's easy as pie, just flipping them out, chucking them backwards.
Well, just before that, he's like, "Forget it, I'm not joining a gang, I'm not picking pockets." And he goes to the payphone, he's like, "Have you got some change?"
Oh, he tries to call Janey, yeah.
Yeah, we see this lingering old woman around for a bit, and then she hands him the purse of hers, and you can tell because he's got a picture of her inside.
Yeah.
And he kind of runs after this old bird.
"Oh, I think you've dropped this." Yeah.
Yeah. And then that repeats twofold as they're walking down past the tube station, and she's just picking everyone's pocket and throwing the wallets back to him. It's like, "Oh, you dropped this, miss, you dropped this, sir."
Yeah, he keeps having to give them back to people and say, "Look, I'm not going to be a crook, I'm not going to do this." And she's giving him this sort of righteous spiel about, they're just all hypocrites, and they're too dumb anyway. If you steal from them, they don't know, they don't care, they don't see what's happening. And she's sort of kind of like that. They're kind of cattle in a way,
That's right. She says, "Stealing is a piece of piss. Just think of all the people that fucked you over."
Yeah.
But that's the point where she hands him a big gold purse. Yeah. But he forgets to give it to the lady.
And then she starts attacking him with an umbrella.
That's right.
Or a walking stick.
And I noticed right at the end of the film, she's credited as a tube station battle axe, I believe.
Nice.
I didn't get her name though.
No, that's a good.
But yeah, she's batting him off with the umbrella and backs him onto the tube.
Yeah.
And he just shouts at her to "fuck off!"
Fuck off!
And then he's pleased with himself.
Yeah. But because of this line, think about anyone who's fucked you over.
Yeah.
The next scene then becomes the corner shop again.
Yeah, he's there. Oh, you don't even see him enter. It's "fuck you, one cunty bollocks."
Cunty bollocks.
And then his face kind of drops, and so does the. I think has he got the butcher knife at this point? I can't remember.
He's kind of there, just sort of holding it. Yeah, but all the kids run in and ram raid.
Yeah, they've all got knives.
Yeah, and they nick all.
Oh no! I think he just goes, "Get us a bag of skips." Yeah. And they run in. They take all the porn and all the beer.
All the porn and all the beer.
Straight into the back of a van.
Yeah.
Like something off the Little Rascals.
Yeah.
Use the baskets.
So they're in the back of the van.
So they all bundle into the back of a van, and we see the license plate flip round.
Yeah, I love that. It's like a Dick Dastardly trick.
It is, yeah. They'll never get us now.
But it's I like this scene because again, it's mainly the kid with the, I guess they're teddy bear ears on his hoodie kind of thing. He's in it a little bit.
The squeaky ears, we find out later.
Yeah, and at this point it's quite funny because they're all sifting through all the porn mags.
That's right.
And the pot noodles and eating all the shit. And yeah, at this point I quite liked it because there was a contrast here where the kids were more articulate than anybody else. You know, they kind of came out with some like beyond their years kind of comments about, oh, you're just rushing through life, you know, kind of, you know, thing. And I really like that scene because they're saying to, there's one of them that's, you know, a teenager, he's a little bit older than the rest of them, and he's thumbing through the porn mag.
There's a kid that's got the cigarette on and he goes, you're too young to read that kind of stuff, you'll go blind.
Yeah, I love that.
He's a serial wanker.
It's so good. And then I love the guy's comment, he's like, oh, shoot blood on this one tonight. It's like, and they all just laugh. Oh, how they laugh. And at this point, like, Billy jumps out of the van.
Yeah, Billy piles out and he's like, he's going home, he's a lightweight.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm not down for this. What's up next? Gay prostitution, drug addiction, and death.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he storms off. They drive away.
Yeah.
And you see Janey giving him a suitcase. So she's proper kicked him out now.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah.
I think he goes back to the loft crack den, as we've been calling it.
Yeah.
And I think as he's been fumigated, something's happened.
Yeah, he can't get back in for some reason.
Yeah, the other guy, the guy in the fur coat, he's kind of there looking worried. He tries to go to a hotel to get a room, but he's only got £5. He gets turns down.
Yeah. But I'm Billy Byrne. No one cares, mate. Yeah.
And then he's back at the catacomb entrance.
Yeah,
and he's getting very wet from the rain.
Oh, it's pouring down. But she's not really too eager to let him in after this. No. She's like, it's a bad time.
It's a bad time. And she's like, I'll let you in, but you got to swear not to tell anyone what you see. Yeah. And you can hear music playing.
All tribally kind of sort of thing going down. And she eventually lets him in. He's like, play quiet, it's raining. Let me in. She's like, all right, come on then.
And it's a kiddie rave.
It's a boozy kid rave.
Kid rave, and all dancing around a fire.
Yeah.
And he gets involved. He starts having a bit of a jolly.
Yeah, he's immediately, and this is what my note is, because it's Billy's character is kind of summed up there. He's immediately drawn in by the booze and the spectacle. Like the distraction is way too much for his personality. Like, you know, he's taken in by all that sort of stuff, and we see Anna walking away, trying to lead him away from all this, trying to be like, come with me, and that's it. He's off. He's away. He's dancing. He's lost in this whole thing.
It was at this point as well that I noticed that this is the fourth scene, which is kind of exactly the same as three other scenes. So there's 4 scenes in this film where he turns up to a dance with a DJ, and they're all kind of exactly the same scene, but with slightly different tones.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, we see a few of the kids. I think some of them have got like devil ears on.
Yeah, they're mainly dressed up, and it's kind of a tribal-esque kind of feel to it, you know, like a blowing off steam kind of thing.
Yeah.
And we see as he's sort of dancing, and you see a shot of what's his name, Tom Bell, Grimshanks, sort of watching him, you know, side-eyeing him from the corner, kind of keeping his eye on him, kind of thing. And
it's later on then, isn't it? And they're all the kids are waiting around, and Shanks has got his mystery box.
Yep.
It says lucky dip time.
Yeah.
We've all done very well this week, so it's only fair we get a little bit extra.
I love it. And he goes, but one at a time, or I'll kick the living daylights out of here.
Yeah. And I thought when he opened it, I was like, oh, they've all got sweets.
Yeah, I thought it was loads of packs of Haribo and shit.
Yeah. But no, it's all tied up balloons, which, that's no good, is it?
No, because it's bound to be drugs, isn't it?
But, yeah, the little kid with the bear ears goes up to him. He squeezed his ears. Off you go, you little scamp.
Yeah. And then every other kid is like, oh, fuck off. Go. Stormtrooper, go back. But they all sort of line out, and one of them tries to grab a fucking handful. Get out of it! But it's very Oliver Twisty. I mean,
it is very incredibly Oliver Twisty. Yeah.
And
we got, like I said, we got Billy, and he's slumped with his bottle of wine.
Yeah.
And he kind of tries to stumble around to get up, and then he collapses.
Yeah.
This is where they try to tempt him, don't they?
That's it. And then at this point, I think Grimshanks lists every conceivable form of everything. He's like China White, this, that, the other, heroin, smack, Charlie, Big K, Special K.
Try the old fashioned with fresh, clean needles.
That's it. And at this point, Billy's trying desperately to refuse the offer of drugs, which is kind of like that's the second time though, because he originally in the film Garvey, right at the start, where he's like, "Oh, do you want to split?" He's like, "No, I'm in the real world now," and
that's it. Yeah, that's right.
And it's this same kind of thing. He's like, "No, I don't." I
forgot about that.
Yeah.
I think he says that was the key to paradise, or circle find the mighty opium, or something along those lines.
But he basically he starts at this point again. Everything's sort of always in any confrontation seems to back down again to a discussion of art, which I guess is the main premise of this film is what is art to you, sort of thing. And he keeps going on about how shallow he is. He's like, you say you want to live, but you don't. You hide from it. You run away. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, I think it's. Is it Anna or Emma, whichever she is? I think she says to him, "You strike me as a shallow boy of urgent need of experience."
That's it. So even she's egging him on at this point.
She's basically saying, "This is a shortcut to what you need in life."
Exactly. And then we get another shot here of the alleyway with the dog in slow focus running
towards the camera.
That's it.
And then it's a little cut again to the girls' room.
Yeah. So at this bit, you've got the pan is increased. We've got closer and closer to the bureau, or whatever we're calling it, the mirror with the pictures round it.
That's right.
And again, she's talking now about how she didn't get it. So she's saying, "Oh, I didn't get it in the end. Well, they're all anorexic. They don't know a girl with real meat on their bones, kind of stuff."
It's all about professionalism, not an eating disorder that makes a model. And I think they're talking about something about a snake tattoo.
She says, because that's mentioned in one of the previous monologues, and she's like, "Oh, now I've got this bloody stupid snake tattoo.
What am I going to do with it?" And then it jump cuts to 1 year later, and we see the snake tattoo on the belly of a girl lying in the rain,
pouring rain. Yeah. And as we see that, we sort of pans out and we kind of see Billy and Anna looking sort of again 1 year later, advanced, and he's got more piercings in his face now.
He's got that nose bridge one and the lip one.
He's got pretty much everything you can get, and they're kind of mugging her basically.
Well, he's trying to take her jewellery off her. I think he's got more. Has he got tattoos now? I can't remember.
I don't think you don't see, because they're both in hoodies.
Oh, yeah,
it's raining. You only see the face, but you don't see anything else. But you see the stupid snake tattoo as it's been.
Yeah. So is this supposed to be
the girl from the thing?
Yeah.
Well,
I
thought it was actually Anna.
Well, I think it might be Anna.
Yeah.
And this is a metaphor for
her
finally leaving that behind. Yeah. Perhaps. Because it would make sense.
Because when you pan to that picture, it looks like it's her. And even the credit does have a different actress for the voice, but it does sound like her. So I was kind of like, I can't tell, and it would have made way more sense if it is Anna, or is at least meant to be her. But from that, again, you don't really get too much. You get the inference that they're being a bit shady, and that he's finally succumbed to, let's say, a life of crime to get
and drugs, and now they've resorted to maybe murdering people.
Yeah.
But as they're robbing this poor woman, you see in the background the posters of Garvey on the wall. So he's clearly made it whilst Billy's resorted to this underground living.
Yeah.
And then cut again to Greenland.
And it eventually ends up being a magazine, doesn't it, again? That it sort of pans back from. And Billy's talking about the majesty and the nature of Greenland.
And he's got a big spliff on at this point.
That's it. And he's talking to all the kids. And he says sort of, you can go there and you can, if at night you can see the aurora borealis and these colours in the sky. And one of the kids...
a string of fireworks.
That's it. One of the kids comes back to him and goes, "Oh, a blotter will do that." And you get to see that every night. As he's got the growling bag, and
the growling bag
chucks a bit of food in by the looks of it, and it's sort of like, because it's a like a string top thing, so he sort of chucks it in, ties it back up like again, really weird sort of thing.
And then we get cut back to the opening shot.
Yes,
in the cabin,
what I'd call the narrative room.
The narrative room,
yes,
exposition room.
Which is presumably Greenland at this point, isn't it?
He says if you're planning a trip to the Arctic Circle and someone tells you Greenland is where it is, forget about it and immediately go to Iceland.
Yeah.
Greenland's nothing but ice.
Yeah.
And I think one of the kids goes, "You ever been there?" No.
Yeah. Because at some point they do, that gets touched on a bit maybe later, where someone goes, No, Iceland's the one you want to go to.
Yeah, I think one of the guards says it.
Yeah, but that sort of cuts back, and Fozzie Bearchild, I was calling him.
We see a guy in a room shooting up, and he goes, "Careful with that, Roy."
That's it, yeah, because that's it. The kid with the ears on, he's saying, "I once saw a man injecting into his own ball sack."
I saw a plonker once that injected himself in the balls.
He'd
done every single place in his body. The veins in the balls were the only veins he got left. Hit an artery.
I think it's
right bollock filled up like a football.
Football, that's it. And then he says, "He died from the infraction." What a prat.
Yes, yeah.
Imagine that, having a melon for a bollock. Ridiculous. I love that little scene. But after that, there's a sort of a lull.
We get then we hear the big bang.
Yeah.
And then someone goes, "It's David," and I was like, "Who the hell is David?"
It's Dave. Yeah.
It's Percy.
It's Percy. Well, it's apparently Dave Percy Sledge.
Percy Sledge.
Which makes more sense in this scene because he comes in wielding a big sledgehammer. So now we know where that's
convenient. But we get a few people running down the stairs, brandishing shotguns and whatnot, Uzis, that kind of thing. And Percy, he's shouting after Shanks.
Yeah. I love that. Put the fucking kettle on. Percy's here. And he starts going about how he's not a banker. And he's like, you take basically we see the big pick and mix drug boxes.
You must have mistaken me as some sort of lending institution. Do I look like a banker to you?
That's it.
And I think one of the guys who's got the cleaver is the guy from the bathroom who stared at him. He looks exactly the same.
Yeah, maybe.
You take my gear, you pay for my gear.
That's it.
And meanwhile, Shanks is desperately trying to escape through the floorboards.
Yeah.
He's got his box.
Yeah, I mean, a very awkward exit strategy by the looks of it, because he is, he's literally pulling up nails with a crow's foot hammer or whatever you call
crowbar.
it. Crowbar. Oh, it is a crowbar, yeah. It's going to take him a while to do that.
I know, yeah. It's going to be quite loud as well.
Somehow he manages it. I'm not too sure. But he kind of shouts back like, I haven't got any money.
So the non-payment isn't the issue. If I let you take the piss, my other clients might think I've gone all reasonable or something.
Yeah, I like
It's a great line.
I think he has some of the best lines in this film.
And then we see a guy I only know because he used to be in Casualty. Oh. It's the guy from Casualty.
Right.
And he does say at this point, say your prayers.
Oh, say your prayers.
Oh, say your prayers.
I didn't notice that. I don't know why I didn't pick up on that. I probably paused it at that point to write another note. But at this point, somehow, Shanks is under the floorboards.
He's under the floorboards.
In a nice, I like it, like in an Evil Dead kind of, because you can see, anyone under the floorboards, the lighting, the creaking around, and Percy's above him. He's behind like a pillar, and he sees a guy with an Uzi down the way, so he runs in the opposite direction. And I think this is where it all kicks off, and he gets Uzi'd up. Yeah, it's quite nice because you can see him do the preparing, taking a few breaths and focusing down, and I like those shots of down the archways of this catacomb system sort of thing. And he eventually decides he's going to leg it with the box, and he gets shot up almost immediately. And this is where our we should say at this point that Billy and Anna are hiding behind the big mirror in her room. Yeah. And they smash it over the face of the guy from Casualty, who gets stuck in it. I like it, because then he looks like he's got an advertising billboard around him. That's exactly how he's moving. He can't turn around. He's trying to fire at them, but he can't move his arms. Yeah. So they're like running around the room trying to avoid it, like some sort of terrible boss fight. Yeah. And shooting ensues, and a lot of kids get shot up. Yeah, it's quite gratuitous for a fact that kids aren't usually shown dying in films. But then it's kind of mixed with humour because the littlest kid runs in and punches a guy straight in the balls. Oh, that's hilarious! And it's good that I've got it down as like a Lost Boys kind of. It is a bit Lost Boys, yeah. Because that is a great bit. Yeah, he goes and punches that guy in the nuts, and then there's a really cool like sliding tackle into an upturned bath. That then the bath falls on him, and he starts crawling in the bath, and eventually he just shanks someone's leg from underneath. That's great. I love that. Yeah. So he's sort of rolling around in there, and there's a fight going on between Percy and one of the kids, the older boy. Between sledgehammer and a crowbar. I know which money I'd put. I'd put my money on. Well, yeah, because the kid ends up taking a sledge bar to the sternum. He goes flying, doesn't he? He goes miles. But then this is where the bag pays off. Yeah, finally he sort of. I love it because he opens it and it's almost comical that it just goes. And lands on him. I'm guessing it's a giant bald rat. Well, it's to me. I put this down as a weird Peter Jackson looking brain dead. It is. It's semi-monkey-ish kind of. Yeah. There's a gribbly in the bag. Yeah, it's a gribbly. It's almost dog-like, but maybe it could be a rat because there's a really long tail on it. What does it remind me of? It looks like something out of like Lord of the Rings or out of one of the Jackson brain dead films because it's like a rat monkey kind of. It looks like that terrible. Remember Lost in Space had that weird little alien monkey. The terrible Matt LeBlanc one. Yeah, kind of like that, but not as bad CGI. Yeah, but very more scary, very more rat. Yeah, maybe like the giant rat from The Witches. I don't know, but yeah. Anyway, it jumps straight for the neck of Percy. Oh yeah, straight on there, and the whole comical like, no, there's a thing on my neck, kind of thing ensues, which I always like. I've always got time for that. And this is the point where the submarine bath boy is crawling around, and he just goes and cuts this guy's Achilles heel that's dealing out most of the machine gun damage.
I think he might get frying pan. Someone runs him with a frying pan.
Well, he hits the deck and then a kid runs it with a frying pan. And it goes a bit bottom. Boom.
But that all gets left behind, and Billy and Emma, they snatch the trunk that Shanks drops.
Yeah, he's kind of crawling. He's been shot, so obviously he's crawling lifelessly towards it.
And they leave them all behind. They leave them all behind, and they run.
Yeah, and again, there's another, sort of weird motion blurred shot of them running down the archway.
Yeah, they're running back out of this underground abyss.
And at this point in the fight, you see the kids sort of get the upper hand and yada yada, and the fight continues. But at that point, Percy, chucks the dog off his neck, tosses it right back at the kid.
Shoots Rat Boy. That's what I've got his name as, Rat Boy.
Yeah, Rat Boy. Yeah.
Shoots Rat Boy in the face. But yeah, Shanks is like dying on the floor. Percy goes over and sledgehammers him in the head, basically.
Right in the face.
And goes, that's why they call me Percy.
I love that.
And then instantly cuts to singing again.
Yeah. When a man loves them. It's so good because he's so joyful, and it's not music over the top. He just starts singing.
He just starts singing, yeah.
And obviously throughout this whole scene, I loved it because you've got him singing that, then cut to Billy and Anna running through the lobby and out through the theatre, and keep cutting back to Percy with his henchmen who are both giving it the old flick. But
then you get the flashback to them meeting for the first time, her drinking the soup, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think they retreat to the old. It's the old loft, isn't it?
Yeah, they find like a really nice, light studio apartment to go and crash in. And I love this again because Percy's still singing at this point, and I think it really got me because the bodyguards do the back of this like going bo bo bo, and I was like, that fucking had me in stitches. But yeah, they find this really nice, presumably massively high.
I wasn't sure if it was the one that previously got fumigated, where they used to crash.
I don't know. I can't tell. But it's I don't know. It's different because I don't think it is. It's the other one was a much larger place. I recall, but this one has got the big windows on the side of the building, the big sort of oval, circular kind of things. Always the kind of place I see in a film go, there's no way that'd be vacant.
No,
especially in London, that'd be $20,000 a day.
Oh, easy.
Gorgeous looking place, but dishevelled.
Yeah. But I think at this point we get Anna narrating, don't we? And she's doing she's kind of reading almost like a fable,
a poem or something.
And she's reading in the first person as if there's some pair of heroes in a story.
Yeah.
And she says that they came across a ruined palace, the folly of an old forgotten kingdom.
That's it. So they're billing it as storytale at this point, and it sort of transitions from this to sort of a shot of the park, and it's quite clearly summer, and everything's nice and everything's good with the world and everything's.
Before that, we get a quick shot of what's in the case. And it's one balloon and 3 massive blocks of heroin.
Yeah, quite a bit. Yeah, but it sort of reveals again that they're sitting basically with their backs on a log as they're in the park, and she's kind of reading she's reading this book to him, and he's kind of again with his kind of tenant super or whatever, just monged out. And as she sort of finishes reading, it's clear there's a passage of time, and the wind blows, and it's clear that it's turned from.
Well, she says the summer grew late and the children grew up, and when the travellers finally stirred, it was because the air chilled and the nights closed in once more.
There you go. And then you get that transition then. As soon as she says that, Billy's face kind of changes in a realisation that it's summer. It's no longer summer, it's winter now. And all
the lighting changes. Yeah. It all goes a bit dark and gloomy.
Not going as well as they planned kind of thing.
And she says, we're travellers, and travellers have far to go.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're back in the abandoned attic, and it is winter now. It's all snowing outside.
Yeah,
and
big icicles on the window, and you can hear the sort of church bells or the bells of a clock in the background.
And then she says, "Oh, it's December 1st."
Yeah, and he says, "No, it's like November or something."
No, it's my birthday.
Yeah,
December 1st, midnight.
Yeah,
and that's kind of what clicks him back into realising the time of the day, so he can start figuring out all these things again.
Mm-hmm.
And he just kind of starts walking around the room, kind of doing maths in his head, scribbling down on pieces of paper.
Yeah, he's like, no, 1,946, 1,947, 948 weeks, and he starts saying, "Oh, the dog's on me. The dog's on me."
Yeah.
So maybe that's a reference to the alleyway that we see the chasing dog.
Maybe. Yeah.
I think that's probably again a symbol of time passing, of something barreling down on you.
Something approaching you very quickly, maybe.
Yeah, and he starts sort of scrabbling and scribbling onto these really yellow, wanky looking pages.
Old notepad looking.
Yeah.
They've been through the wash a few times, paper.
Yeah.
But then it cuts straight away, and he's stormed straight into the office building of the talent agency, wherever it was from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And the two guys there, they're just doing coke off the
coffee day.
Yeah, with his Garvey's there as well, and he bursts. And he's like, "I've got a new idea.
Yeah,
I'm only asking for a few moments."
Yeah,
and they're trying to throw him out.
That's it. And he's back to his same sort of rambling. So it's revolutionary. It's great. It's groundbreaking. I'm amazing.
I've spent a year in the real world.
Yeah,
the biggest lesson I've learned. He needs experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, he kind of hands out his paper to the two guys sat down because only two will listen.
Yeah, like the manager immediately is like, "I just know you're old hat," but they sort of humour him for some reason. They're kind of like, "Oh, go on, we'll take a look."
Yeah, he's like, "You can call the security guards, just let me talk first, and then throw me out."
Yeah.
But yeah, they're like, "We can't make head nor tail of it," and the other guy just goes, "It's bollocks."
Bullshit. And then at this point, sort of Billy pulls a knife out.
Well, no, he goes.
Oh no, he tries to scribble on it. He's like, "No, you're reading it wrong. It's upside down. Look at this."
Yeah, he goes, "Right, it doesn't make sense." He goes, "Right, show and tell."
Yeah. I quite like that, but he gets to a point where they're going, "Look, it's trash, mate. It's nothing. What are you talking about?" And he loses it at that point and sort of brings out this little flick knife.
Yeah,
which I think again is the knife from the scene when they were behind the mirror, but also I believe is the knife that Grimshanks threatens him with in the very first.
Maybe, yeah.
So it's a bit weird that he's got that. But he's like, "I've had enough," and he's like, you're all full of shit. You don't.
You've all got your head stuck up your ass.
That's it.
Ironic. Yeah, he says the new art doesn't make sense, and he pulls a knife out. Mm-hmm. 1 minute the dog's bollocks, next big thing, and I lose my talents overnight. But yeah, he's kind of asking around the room, and he says to Garvey, he was like, if all goes south, these guys will shaft you in a moment.
Yeah.
He says, yeah, that's why I don't listen to them. And
yeah.
Their faces kind of drop.
Yeah.
They're just slaves to public opinion.
That's it. And he goes, "Fuck the public." And he basically outlines the fact again that what we're shown is that Garvey's more switched on. He knows how the process works. He knows how fickle these things are.
That's right, because
he's playing it more, intelligently.
Yeah, because he says to Garvey, he's like, "So you've got to let the public decide whether your work is any good or not." He's like, "No, that's for you to decide. The public decide whether you have a career." Yeah. Fuck the public.
Fuck the public.
Not if you want our money.
Yeah, exactly. And then I love this bit because he's like, gets the hump and he goes to grab all the paper and stuff, and as he's bending down to grab his papers, he just blows all the coke off the table.
He's like, take that.
Fucking brilliant.
But he storms off into a bathroom with two gentlemen in there, and they leave, and he goes to get his heroin out.
Yeah, it's a really long, really tense.
It's
scene
quite a
as
to-do
well.
scene. Yeah, he takes his belt off. He gets his he gets himself a tourniquet done.
Yeah,
but he can't do it because he's shaking too violently to get the vein.
Yeah, and again, it's really tense as we keep watching him sort of circling and get a bit closer, and then we get a cut from that to the lift, which has now got who we believe are Jarman and Price and Garvey going down in lift. So the two cokehead guys and his mate.
And it's Mitchell Walsh.
Oh, is he? He's
in there. He's saying, "Oh, maybe I'll give him a call, give him a second chance."
Feel a bit harsh, and they sort of say, what's up with him? And Garvey says, "Well, he's not mental. He's just hit rock bottom. It's not that bad. Not everyone can handle this. Not everyone can handle the fame and the lack of fame and the ups and downs and stuff." So they're kind of almost talking each other into being like, "Oh,
give him a chance.
Give
the lad a second chance."
Which is great because as soon as the lift opens,
he's there. He's like, "Right, different plan. It's the dog's bollocks."
Oh, come on. He's not a criminal. He's just hit rock bottom. Not everyone can take this business.
Okay, different plan. I've got something that's brilliant. You're gonna love it. It's so street, it's so cred, it's the dog's bollocks, yeah?
And then that cuts straight away, I think.
Yeah, they're back in the loft, and he's trashing the place looking for the passports.
Yeah,
he's got a plan this time.
Anna's kind of not up with it. She's like, "We've got something here. We've got a roof over our head. We've got something. Who's to say it's going to be any better if we go anywhere else?" And yada yada.
Yeah, she calls him selfish.
Yeah.
And says he's only doing things for himself.
Well, that's it. And he keeps fighting back and saying, "No, I'm doing it for the both of us. I'm doing it for us."
I think you see him take the drugs out of the thing.
But yeah, he grabs the stash box and then it's a cut to the alleyway.
Yeah, and we can tell at this point it's the alleyway where we saw that dog previously.
Yeah.
And she's kind of waiting by the side, and he walks up into like a clearing, and Garvey approaches.
That's it. Well, you can see sort of 3 figures coming towards him.
Yeah.
You can't really see, but then it becomes Garvey, and well, it is Jarman and Price again, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're all there together, and it's clear that obviously those two love the coke, so of course he's going to sell them the coke. And
I think he asks him, "I thought you were getting out of this business," and he basically saying, "No, this business never stops."
Yeah.
But yeah, he gives him a little taster of the drugs, and he goes, "Oh, that's good. Oh, that's really good.
Yeah.
The best quality China white," he says. Mm-hmm. And he hands him a little parcel. He says, "Here we go, 10 grand cash and 2 tickets, all the way to the airport and to Greenland."
Yeah, all the way to the airport.
And then he goes, "Oh, I hear it's nice." He goes, "No, I think you'll find that's Iceland."
Yeah, exactly. That's it, and that's where it's kind of like, oh shit. But that's it. No, he says, "Yeah, you got a limo to the airport and stuff like that."
Then he kind of counts the drugs in front of him. He's like, "You know, we're going to make 100 grand off this. Are you cool with that?"
Yeah.
And he's basically just wants. He thinks he says, "No, I'm not cool," but he just wants to get out.
Well, yeah, he knows he's lost money on it. It's like I need now money, not fucking, I'm not bothered about it. I just need to get the hell out of here. He just wants to get out, and you see this sort of conflict there where Anna is really struggling with this drug deal. She doesn't want to give away the drugs.
She doesn't want to give away the drugs at all. And there's a limo pulled up at the opposite side of the alleyway.
Yeah.
So he can either take the route to freedom, or she can, go for them.
Yeah.
And as Billy's walking towards a limo, he passes the cancer man.
Yeah.
And he goes, "What have you done, mate?"
Yeah.
But yeah, he walks up to the guy, opens the door from the limo, and goes, "Heathrow Airport, please."
Yeah. And then we get some positive music starts.
We do, but she's toying between the 2 directions, and she ends up running towards Garvey.
Yeah. So it's pretty much she's set in that she is addicted. She needs the drugs or whatever. She's settled in her life with this, so she's going to follow that.
And he goes without her, and as he's driving away in the limo, he takes out all of his piercings.
Yeah.
He's starting to reset who he was.
Yeah.
And we get quite a poorly CGI'd scene, but it does the point of the limo. It's an overhead shot of the limo driving away.
Yeah.
And as it's driving away, all the lights are turning off.
Yeah, I couldn't even tell if that's what was happening for a bit. I was like,
it is quite badly done, but yeah, I think that's the idea.
I mean, to be honest, it should have been the other way around. Surely, it should have been black. It should have been lighting up as he went to signify. Oh no, because he turned them off, I guess. But the hope should have been signified by the light coming on, I guess.
And I think is that the point where we get the first fake credits.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, so it's over. So the film is about like growth and progression. Oh wait,
the next big thing.
Boom. And then we get a shot of Anna, who's asking gear from Garvey. Although I've always got I keep calling him Billy Elliot all the way through it because I didn't know his name was Garvey until I went back and did the research. So I was like, Billy Elliot's like, oh, I don't know if you want to.
Well, I thought Garvey was his computer, because at the start he was like, Garvey needs a new hard drive. Well, that's a nice name for a computer.
Third person talking fool.
But yeah, she catches up with him and she's like, I just need some gear, man. I'll do anything with some gear.
That's it. And then we see the dog barreling down.
Yeah, so he gives her some for free, and then she scarpers off, and he's kind of looking down the alleyway. And then we see, he just turns the corner and starts barreling towards him.
Yeah, and then we get credits again.
Yeah, credits again.
So at this point I'm going, okay, so it's quite a fractured film, and there's a lot of ins and outs with the subjectivity. Oh, wait! What do we get there?
I think it's after the credits it's a shot of the office again.
Yeah.
And it's Dave Percy Sledge.
I love that.
And he's sat on the sofa, and I think he asks him if he wants to be the next big thing.
Yeah.
And I think he just looks at the camera and winks.
Yeah, well he says, it's a pleasure and I'd like to talk to you about representation. And then he winks and it goes off.
And then that is the end of the film.
Legit, yeah.
Legit end of the film. So that was that film.
Yeah, man.
Did you enjoy it?
From an aspect of taking notes on it, no.
Oh, it was very...
I hated it because I had to pause that thing every 2 seconds because the cuts were so goddamn quick. But I think I did enjoy it.
See, there's the difference between a film being good and a film being entertaining.
Yeah.
Because as long as a film can be any theme and be entertaining, but a good film can be boring, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like there's some films which are horrible subject matter, a bit like Bad Lieutenant with Harvey Keitel, but I watch it and it's entertaining.
Yeah.
I wouldn't... It's not fun.
No. You watch the remake with Nicolas Cage, and that is
entertaining. That's entertaining as all hell.
Yeah, took your pierced blood.
So
good.
But yeah, I don't know if I was entertained for the whole of the film,
No, I think...
I was intrigued because I knew it was the kind of film it's all dripped in subtext. And I wanted to know what the ending would be. So I was intrigued the whole time, but I don't know if I'd probably only go back and watch it again just to see if I missed anything.
Yeah, I think it might have a few things in there that are kind of missed with the progression of it, because it is so fast-paced.
It is very fast-paced.
Throughout. And I guess that's kind of what the film's about in a way.
Well,
in a sense that all these scenes are to create an emotional state. I think the whole thing is about an emotional state.
And it's about the rise and fail of success, because at no point do they ever mention what he's meant to be good at, and because it's not the point. It's
just again, it's loosely that he's an artist, and I think they even mention that in one point. They say something about a recording artist or a something artist, and it's like it calls into question what art even is anymore. It's not a physical entity anymore. It's not a painting on a wall or something like that. It can be anything in terms of, it's something that annoys me is when a singer gets called a recording artist. I think that's a very different thing, because there is such a thing as a recording artist, someone that will do, noise pieces, installation with, theme and sound of nature or whatever to create an idea. Whereas Beyonce is not a recording artist. She's a singer.
Yeah, someone else does the recording.
It's very and writes it. So, and it's not even her that directs the videos, is it?
No.
She's not an artist. She is a singer. End of.
She's a performer.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, it calls into question this whole thing. Like, it's basically celebrity. What is celebrity? What is an artist? And what it seemed to me on the outset, I didn't take away this. He is an actual artist kind of thing. And you see clips of other people doing the same thing. He's watching the TV and there's another guy who's in the club doing the same thing, or you get the clip of Stefan Dorff or whatever.
He just turned up a second point
a couple
at the
of
end.
times, and it seems to be, in my eyes, to show that these characters are not institutional artists or anything like that. They are reality TV stars, guys from Gogglebox or whatever, people that are just...
They're manufactured celebrity.
It's literally like everybody gets their 15 minutes kind of thing. Everybody in the film at some point, in my eyes, some of the characters like Anna or whatever, had their 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And they have the negative reaction that Billy got, and therefore all the characters, throughout that have had the negative reaction initially have gone through this despondency and crashed and burned, and then the characters like Garvey or... again, whatever his bloody name is, Stefan Dorff's character, did the positive. They got an initial positive review, and that's it. That's the only thing that differentiates them.
And I think, a lot of it is about not trading in your art and skill for fame.
Yeah.
Because it just destroys him, doesn't it? That's the whole point. That he doesn't even specify what it is, because it doesn't matter, because he's trying to apply to basically be a manufactured celebrity, and it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
And he spends time in the real world and realises actually what it is about is having your own opinion, not being a bore, not living by the standards of other people set. That's what I wanted the film to be about anyway.
Yeah,
but I still can't tell if it really is, because it's one of them things you can read too much into it and try and make it seem really clever, when really it could just be convoluted, and you don't know if that's what the film meant.
This is where I fall on it, is kind of 50-50 in that aspect, because there's what I'm initially trying to put into it myself to, in a way, make it salvageably
people say
intelligent.
You get out of a film what you put in.
Yeah.
But it still has to be a slightly coherent, entertaining, and make sense.
But that's it. And again, this is the whole point of the film in a nutshell, is what he's saying is the resonance. It needs to have the resonance. So initially, the whole thing is, let's say, a massive art history debate. What is art? What is art perceived as? And how is it made credible?
Actually, it's kind of like a bigger, what do you call it? It's kind of like a big metaphor for the film itself.
Well, exactly.
Because it doesn't have a context.
It's initially justifying its own existence.
Yeah, that's what the film is doing.
Yeah. So, in a way, it's let's call it like a self-fulfilling prophecy. It exists to comment on itself.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit greedy and up its own arse in that aspect, which is so fun. Like, I guess they poke fun at that fact is because that's what the character is. The whole process is to show what a dick this guy is. Like, come on,
he's a product of the machine.
Stop bitching about how you're not successful because other people don't like it, and just get on with it. Do something. It doesn't matter whether other people like it. You do it for yourself, and that's your success, that's your happiness, you know. And you see his relationship with his missus deteriorate, Janey, because he doesn't pay her any attention. He doesn't care about her. He's not willing to go on holiday with her. All he cares about is his success.
And she says to him as well that basically he loves being downtrodden, and that so he can talk about himself. But when he does get a spot in the light, he couldn't do it.
Yeah,
he didn't have the balls to do it. So it's like he loves chasing it, but he doesn't know what to do when he gets there.
Yeah, and again, it's all I guess metaphorically therefore with the drugs, chasing the dragon. You know, chasing the unattainable. You can't reach that same high anymore without being more dangerous.
Yeah.
Again, he references that within it. You know, he says, "What I'm doing is bigger and brasher than anyone else. I'm taking more risks. I'm doing this." So he sees himself as some kind of, you know, reckless, all or nothing, you know, chances taken kind of guy.
He thinks he's Neo.
Yeah, basically. But with these attitudes, with the need to rely on the praise of others, as well as the connections with the drug addiction he forms in the back, in the tail end of the film, and him talking about this dog being upon him. I think the dog is also a symbol for, you know, this constant need, this addiction for gratification and validation that he's seeking, or that everybody is seeking, you know. So I think it is all meant to be, you know, an emotional piece. It's all fractured and confusing and sort of back and forth, and we up and down. You can see that, you know, there's a lot of struggles going on within the film. Not only for his character.
But everyone in it is kind of the same character in a different state. I'm not sure. For me, I think the dog more represented something trying to catch up with him. And because in the end he gets away and the dog doesn't catch him, but he catches Garvey because he's stayed in this. Yeah.
I mean, it's. I guess it's.
It's the lack of. It's all the bullshit finally coming to an end, maybe. But then does it have any resemblance to the bulldog in a bag? Is that like because that finally gets let out the bag as he escapes? There's a lot of symbolism in there.
Yeah, I mean, some things I think obviously carry more weight than others, and some are more just in your face. I mean, they basically scream what the point is that they're getting at. You know, especially characters like Janey, who just launch into a very accurate kind of portrayal and say, look, this is all it is. You're being a dick. You can't take it. I'm not having it. I'm not happy. That's it.
Yeah, she's us in the film. She's the one that's responding properly to all the things that are happening around her.
She's one of the only reasonable voices. Yeah. Whereas Anna's kind of take or ownership of Billy is that she wants someone to mirror her life. You know, she wants someone to be a street rat kind of thing. You know, she's happy to be living hand to mouth to get the drugs she needs to make it through. So it's kind of like you see all these schools of thought. You've got Billy who's striving for this perfection, celebrity, unrealistic ideal of life. His girlfriend Janey who wants the normal, let's just go on holiday, let's be a couple, let's have lives and jobs and not do that. And then Anna who is the dangerous side, who's let's live on the lam and live day to day and live in the moment kind of thing.
Yeah, there are a lot of things in it that I thought worked, like, you know, some of the symbolisms, but then there are scenes that kind of didn't make too much sense to me. Like, I didn't understand fully why the children. I suppose it is a parody of Oliver Twist.
Yeah,
it never really explains where they're meant to come from.
Well, I think that they're always meant to, in terms of story writing, I think the children always appear to be a voice of honesty, because even though they're, you know, technically young criminals, they're devoid of that cynicism that would hold people back to make excuses. You know, it's like when they just say, you know, oh, that's fucking shit or whatever. They're abrupt. They're to the point. They're what is it, from the mouth of babes truth, or you know, shit like that. They get to be the voice of reason within the piece because, again, as we said, they're much more articulate when in the scenes, whereas the grown-ups again are a bit more flamboyant and a bit stupid. So it's kind of that thing. It's that innocence as well of, well, what do you want to be famous for? You know, what the fuck's the point of that? You know, what do you need to go to Greenland for when you can take a tab? You know, all this sort of stuff. It's that very you know, straightforward logical thinking or whatever comes from them, whereas all that the main characters can think about is where their life will be, or how to be remembered, or what their time is going to be.
Yeah, it all harps back to that opening monologue where he's talking about how much time he's got.
Yeah,
he's planning each day and he's working out how much, how long he has left to do all the things he wants to do, but he never actually figures out what those things are.
Exactly.
He doesn't plan properly.
Yeah.
And when he becomes unstuck, he doesn't know what to do because he hasn't got any contingencies.
Yeah, and that to me is what the reference of the dog is in my mind, and especially why he says the dog's on me. Is because I believe it is that pressure of time, about that accomplishment in time, and he's constantly trying to run away from it or trying to further himself away. And
that's his mental image of what that is.
Exactly.
And when he comes back in at the end, he's back in that mind frame of trying to be a success again.
Yeah. And that's when it reoccurs, is when he's there. You notice it's not really present for the time he's spent just thieving about, like.
I suppose Greenland, because the grass is always greener. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. It's the other side of the coin. Like the choices not made are always going to be the better ones.
But then does the film does take place? Is it? I have to have a quick look back. It does take place 2 years prior to those opening scenes, doesn't it? Yes, 2 years earlier. Yeah. So a year after that, presumably, because it was a year after the 2 years earlier.
Yes.
So he's back on his feet.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, actually, no, because it's all a flashback. That is probably when he... Oh, so yeah, okay. So the concept that he proposes at the end will be these workings out that he decides at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what he was trying to tell them.
Yeah, he was trying to tell them how much life you have, how much time you've got to spend and stuff. But obviously now, especially seeing as you've gone through the scene with him in the car, removing the piercings and stuff, he's matured into, responsibility or rationality. He's got to a point where he's picked himself up from rock bottom, and now he can again be more articulate and more precise in what he's looking for next.
He's focused now.
Yeah, exactly.
He knows exactly what he wants.
He's got his shit together.
So it's a redemption story, really.
Pretty much, but it's
the
very
false high of
roundabout
fame and then the underground low. I mean, there's metaphors where they're having that underground rave and they're dressed as devils, like they're descending into the dark side, and with the eerie music and the running. So it's kind of obvious that this is his low point, that's his high point.
Yeah. I was expecting one more scene after the many fake credits, just of him in that narrative room going, the sort of 90s cliche of, and there you have it, that's my story, blah, blah, blah. So I was quite glad that didn't happen.
Yeah.
But I was left thinking, maybe they... No, then it just went off.
Yeah. I think it was missing something.
There was something in there that I think his journey requires is, yes, we see that through the process of flashback, that he is all right now after he makes this journey to the airport. You do feel like there might be some sort of a character surmisal or something that states, so whatever it is, the point of the film. So they say, so you don't need to be a celebrity, you don't need to do this, you don't need to do that, you just need to do what you need to do. But I think it's by this point, it's probably become quite obvious about what they're getting to in the film, maybe, so they felt they didn't need to.
Well, that's the thing. It gets its point across properly, but I feel it could have done it in a slightly more entertaining way.
Yeah, I mean,
a lot of the time it felt like it wanted to avoid all the key aspects. So it's like, we're not going to tell you what the job is. We're not actually going to show you him taking any drugs, descending anything. We're just going to focus on the things that happen around those events.
Yeah.
So you can piece that together in your own head, and that's fine. But every scene was kind of made up of that. Like, you got to piece together how all these bits
they relate. Yeah.
And it worked, but I think it could have worked better if they didn't do it that way, maybe.
But I think that's why the film harps on about it in that one scene. I think with Garvey and Billy, where they're talking about resonance. I think that is your actual crux. That is your point.
Yeah, the whole meaning of it defends the film.
Yeah, I think they're justifying the need for the film, because what they're saying is that this film isn't about content and structure. It's not about the script. It's about the emotional state of being. It's about the resonance. It's about making a feeling. So by using all like I keep calling it fractured, because it's so heavy on cuts. It's so fast. It's so confusing. They're trying to kind of build this kind of claustrophobic state on you of, oh, what's going to happen? Oh God, there needs to be a resolution. And I think that's the point surmised in that exact scene, is where they're saying, no, we're not making a film about point A to point B. We're talking about how it feels to be in this state, to be this person, to have this feeling.
It's not designing something by committee, which is exactly what the film isn't. And I think it's got a 5 out of 10 on IMDb, and I think mostly that's probably because people just don't understand it, or they got bored of it maybe.
Yeah,
I'd give it higher because I think if it was just on and I wasn't really paying attention, I'd probably get bored. But because I studied it for a review, I think that I think you need that level of attention properly.
Well, that's it. And again, because we're doing that, we're actively trying to perceive something in the film to make it worthwhile doing it, I guess. But I don't know. I quite like it. I guess it's a duality of the feeling that they're trying to capture, and also this idea of celebrity and how it's not all it's cracked up to be, basically.
Yeah.
Because I really like that last scene at the end where Percy's basically getting a job offer. They want to make him into a celebrity because he's
Percy the Sledge.
Well, he's Percy the Sledge. But in terms of a celebrity gets almost a free pass.
Yeah.
Sometimes they can do something. That's not a word. Atrocious. Atrocity is what I was going to say. They can commit atrocities such as shooting children down and all this sort of stuff. And he's very brutal throughout the whole film. He's definitely psychotic.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, he comes out on top. He's the one that was kind of awful throughout the film.
But he's got the money.
He's now, exactly. And that's all that matters, in a sense. It's kind of as if the film is all saying, oh, you've only got it if you've got it, and you only get it if we decide you've got it. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And to me, that whole point of, the celebrity can get away with anything. They can go to the weird sex party with the fisting and the piercings.
I've forgotten about that scene for 5 minutes. Thank you.
How could you? But I like that kind of inference on it as well. That it's saying, at the end of the day, if you're entertaining, that's all we care about. We don't care whether you make good art or create, intelligent art. And the idea of the cranium kind of disappears halfway through this film. It stops being something that we thought it might have been about, and it's just about how many likes did you get? That's kind of the idea of it. And
it kind of pinpoints the fact that if you try and make art just to please what you think people are going to want, it's not going to work.
It's going to be shit.
It's not until he goes and lives in the real world for a year that he figures out, actually, it's all about me and not what other people want. He's finding his own audience.
Exactly. So instead of trying to justify himself to everybody else, he's internalising and going, oh well, no, I'll just get on with it, kind of thing.
He's developed a personality and he can run with that rather than just trying to be a faceless Big Brother star, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what every character literally screams at him throughout the whole film is, man up and just stop being,
stop
a
being
starfucker kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I liked it. I think, again, as it is a film more or less indirectly related to art, it is subjective. So I kind of like this film. What for me made me actually like it was the moments of humour in it.
It was laugh out loud funny in some places.
Yeah, I mean, Percy for me was the best character in this.
Jason Isaacs in general is just great in everything.
Yeah, probably the best overall actor in terms of how he kind of stole it for me a little bit.
He was almost too realistic of a character.
Yeah, very charming, but very psychopathic.
You needed that. When he walked in, he was like, oh, okay, actually, I remember now. All this surreal stuff that's going on in the background. No, we are still in a world.
Yeah, he was like the tie back to reality, the consequences of the real world. So I think they did that really well. And all the little bits with his mates calling him a wanker or, oh, Dave's a wanker. All that sort of stuff. It helped to keep me enthused, to be honest with you. Because, like you say, it was so cut heavy, so convoluted, so up its own arse of, aren't we trying to be so fucking special with this film, that it kind of made me not like it a little bit. And those moments of comedy or those characters appearing like the grotesque hobo on the tube and stuff, all gave it a little bit of something to just pick me back up and get me back on board. The little laughs made it for me.
I really like the sudden shifts in theme, because all of a sudden we're in the newsagents now. He gets robbed.
Yeah.
It's just a little moment, then it moves on to something completely different. He never comes back to it other than later on. But it's little things that happen, like in the toilet, he sees the two gay guys go in.
Yeah.
Then it's the next scene, and something happens here, something happens there.
Yeah.
It's like little stories that are just happening around our main character and don't necessarily all make sense.
No, it is kind of exactly a film made in the Family Guy cutaway ideal of
slightly.
If you throw enough shit, some of it's going to stick. You know, like, they might not all be good, but one of them could be.
And I'll tell you what, some of the scenes reminded me of... did you ever watch Monkey Dust?
No.
On BBC... BBC 4.
Familiar.
It was a cartoon. It was very, very dark and British.
Right.
And it was very, very black humour. And I think there was some of the scenes just reminded me of that. There was some very, very dark moments. But in all... I'm
going to have a look, but no.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I don't think I could recommend it to anyone maybe but you to watch.
Yeah. I mean...
It was a random one I pulled out of the air to review. I'm glad I did. And it's interesting to see what that director did with it.
Yeah. And I think it... Oh, okay. Monkey Dust, yeah. If you... sorry, looking that up on the old tablature. If you... look at Blade as a comparison, it's miles apart. I mean,
stylistically, when you see the scenes of like the dancing or the kind of the den, you're like, oh, okay, they are very similar.
You can, yeah, I mean,
thematically, kind of.
Yeah, you can get his let's say overall design aspect of it, because it is very gritty, very I would say real, but the aspects of the kinky nurse party. All that sort of thing, it did, yeah. It echoed the same feel, and a club scene is a club scene in a film.
Yeah.
But I will always remember, for some reason, that maybe it's the music, I don't know, but that scene from Blade, obviously where the blood comes out, the sprinklers and stuff. To me, that's quite an iconic kind of scene.
Oh yeah, you'll never forget that.
But when I heard that, as soon as before we got to that, we heard some clubby music before the film started. For real, and I thought, oh, that reminds me of that, weirdly. Yeah. And then I saw Stephen Dorff and I went, well, he was in Blade.
And there's Udo Kier.
And then they did the weird scenes with the crazy sex part. I was like, this is feeling very quite-esque. And obviously down to my bad lack of research. and you just told me today, I was like, oh, well, it makes sense now.
Clicks, yeah. But I think he wrote this as well. If you say it was based off a book, he probably wrote a screenplay.
Oh,
so maybe. I feel like this is a passion project for him, something he really wanted to do.
Well, I mean, again, I only quickly browsed over it when I was looking on IMDb. I thought I saw something to say. It was written. But yeah, no, it's massively different, and
it is different. I'll give you that. It's different.
Yeah, if you're ever going to say, let's do a directorial comparison, this would be polar opposites, but. I did like it for that. It was an interesting film, but again, like you say, I don't think I'd probably recommend it unless I was an art history teacher and I went, kids, watch this, because maybe you'll get something from it, because it is quite good in that aspect.
It's a very hard. If someone said to you, "Well, what's it about?"
Yeah,
describe it. Is it a comedy? What? Yeah. It's down as a drama mystery thriller. I wouldn't go as far as say that. I'd say it's more of a black comedy. I wouldn't say it's a thriller. Well, maybe it's not a mystery.
Well, because you couldn't saying it's a psychological thriller makes it completely inaccurate. But there are parts. I wouldn't say thriller, but you could say it was a psychological sort of experiment. But I would say it was an art house film.
It's always
that is all I can say about it realistically, because it doesn't fit neatly into a genre, and I think what it questions at its core is the ideals of artistic integrity, and the idea of failure and success in the eyes of someone else. So again, it's like a study piece of emotion and it's human nature.
It's a parable, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a story which the characters aren't really relevant. It just denotes, a meaning.
I mean, if I worked in Blockbuster, had it still exist, I wouldn't know what shelf to put that on. Probably the bargain bin, to be fair.
That weird shelf where they put things like Cube and...
Yeah, exactly. I'm not too sure, but even Cube fits more neatly into the sci-fi genre.
That is a drama. No, that is a mystery thriller. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend it to another I mean, the thing is, if I'd have listened to us talking about it, I'd really want to watch it to know what it was about. I think it has to be...
Well, this film, okay, yeah, bad for reviews in terms of us talking about it, maybe. But visually, I think that's all it's got going for it, because it is very visceral. There's actually not a lot of dialogue in most of the scenes, and it's just
the dialogue is
sped up camera movements.
Very, very on the short side. It's usually like a quick...
Very quick.
One back and forth between two people, maybe like 2 sentences each, then the next scene.
To me, it felt like something that almost... How Wes Anderson does it, it's very quick fire, but actually quite...
It gets everything said in one sentence that you need, and you have to think about it.
It gets to the point, but... This is what annoys me about people who say they don't like his films, is they go, oh, it's just, it's up its own arse, it's convoluted. It's like, but it's not. It's the same thing that Kevin Smith does as well in his films. When he wants someone to appear intelligent, they make them go really quickly, they just spout off a load of shit, and you're so confused and drawn in by it, you go, oh Christ, well that was awfully smart, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it's something that directors tend to do, and sometimes can get taken down by that. Wes Anderson, I think, does it correctly, because they just say the words quite quickly. I think it makes sense as a sentence.
People get annoyed with Wes Anderson because it's so accomplished.
Yeah.
And they just think it's kind of like, almost like it's unauthentic. Like he hasn't tried.
Oh, it's kind of formulaic, and I can understand that. But no, he puts a lot of thought into his films.
Yeah, it takes a lot of effort to...
And they're all brilliant. Even the worst one is still better than any Michael Bay. So come on, get off your high horse about how he directs and stuff. But for me, this one was the polar opposite of that. It was the fast-talking guy that was talking absolute shit all the time.
And everyone else was just kind of observing around him.
Yeah. It's the kind of thing that unfortunately some films suffer from, like I'm going to mention Prince of Darkness again, where it's like it breaks down on an atomic level. They just spout bullshit and catchphrases that kind of sound like they're explaining something really important, but you're just kind of like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, and it kind of, I'd say it loses focus, but it's meant to. It's not meant to have much focus, that's the point.
Yeah.
But I still think it's a little bit disjointed, and it could have done with it was long as well, I think. Best part of 2 hours.
Yes, it did take a long time to get through.
Yeah, I think the first 2 acts took a bit too long, maybe.
Yeah.
A bit too much set up for the kind of after 1 year downtrodden act.
Yeah, and again, there was a lot of this backwards and forwards, and again, it does help to make it fragmented. But again, when you're trying to be cutting edge and have some real points to say about art and values and society, it sometimes helped to not be too convoluted, because you just come off as being up your own arse, and then the point doesn't get across.
Yeah. It needed to be slightly less what it was trying to parody.
Yeah, exactly, because it's satire is okay when people go into something going, oh well, it's going to be, because it makes a bit of sense.
I think this tends to happen a lot, because he obviously would have, the director wise, he would have had quite a good breakthrough with Blade, which is really good. And then what happens then, a lot of directors, they go off and make their passion project, don't they?
Yeah.
And then sometimes it falls a bit short. I think it happens to all of them. And I feel like this is probably a bit of a misstep. I imagine it's the exact film he wanted to make. And you can only respect it for that. But
I think it's the kind of film that now probably will be remade, in terms of, they'll eventually get to some shit, won't they? But it probably could have benefited from being made more recently. Not in terms of the tech and the effects and stuff. But
you could totally make this film now and aim it at YouTube stars.
Yeah, exactly. It's very current. I think the thing is, it will always be relevant in terms of what it's saying. Obviously, its setting and certain things probably not so much. But I think the point it's trying to make is in there. It's a real struggle for me, because, as you say, I don't think I would recommend it to anyone apart from ourselves. Maybe John, because he's a bit of an arty kind of guy as well. So I think people who have gone into things and watched some really, up its own arse shit, will be able to watch this and go, well, it's not as patronising as that.
Yeah.
But it's a bit fragmented. Like I say, for me, it's like someone's watched Trainspotting going, oh, all right, I want that aesthetic, and then I'm going to just read my stage 3 art history book and see what I can bring out.
Yeah. And I think, as someone who just likes watching a film that's a bit different, it's quite good for that as well.
Oh, I enjoyed it.
Something a bit strange, something a bit differently shot, something that tries to do something that doesn't follow the conventions of a normal film.
Yeah.
It's not it's not by the books, nuts and bolts filmmaking. It's different, and it's worth watching just to kind of experience that variation.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'd ever think, I got 2 hours. What can I put on that I'll enjoy?
It's not top of the rewatch list.
No.
And I wouldn't say, and I did, because it took me quite a while to get through it. I ended up emptying a couple of bottles of beer towards it. And it didn't improve.
You should have drank them.
I did. Yeah. I needed the bottles for pens. But it didn't improve. So I wouldn't even say it's it gets better with a couple of beers. I think it is good in the sense that it was funny. I mean, there were some genuine moments of actual laughter.
Yeah, there was.
But they were the odd off the hand quips. So
it was usually it was the British humour, and I don't know if other people would find that funny.
Well, no.
Like my favourite parts are like the little scenes, like the scene in the cab. I found was really funny. The scene the first scene of Isaac's singing.
Yeah.
The scene in the corner shop. All them little scenes of just incidental things that happen to a guy. I would have liked more of that and less of, because that's what the film kind of starts off being. It's like, look at all these little incidental things that are happening, kind of like cutaways.
Yeah.
And then we're going to build to something. But what it builds to is, okay, now we're going to stick you with kind of a solid narrative where he's downtrodden, and kind of move away from all that. Then we're going to have this bit where he's rocking around with Oliver Twist characters, and then all of a sudden he's back in the office and he's got an idea.
Yeah.
Because it's I don't know. I think there's a good idea in there. I just think it was executed slightly clumsily.
I think it is. I think it's an annoying side effect of them trying to tell a story that's more emotional than has a direct storyline, and then trying to make a clear point at the same time.
Yeah, I feel like it started. It wrote it with the first scene, and then didn't know where to go with that.
Yeah.
Like, we need to get back to this. How can we do that? And then maybe they ran out of time, and it was like, okay, we'll just have him sell the drugs and move away.
Yeah.
Because what kind of lesson does that teach you?
Because again, it kind of goes against the stuff. It's like, well, what has that accomplished? I mean, fair enough. He's fulfilling whatever his prerequisite idea of happiness was, and he's chased his happiness rather than chased his success.
That's true. But here's a plot hole. If Jason Isaacs goes for a job at that agency, he's going to talk to Garvey, and Garvey's going to be like, oh yeah, I sent him off to Greenland. He's like, right, I'm going to get him and get my money back because he stole all my drugs.
Well, yeah. I mean, that could happen, but
unless that dog ate Garvey.
Yeah. Well, you never know.
Maybe that's what the wink means. I might kill him.
Maybe it ate all the drugs and all the bath salts, and then it became Cujo.
Which we won't be doing next time.
No. I know. No dog-centric films.
Unless it's Bingo.
Beethoven. But no, I mean, was there a list of the questions we ask about films to justify them, or?
Well, I was trying to make a list. I can only get to about 3. The first one was, would you recommend it to another person?
So, possibly if they were an art history student.
Possibly. That's a possibly.
Yeah.
The second one was it entertaining? I'd say 50% of it was entertaining.
I'd go a smidge higher just because I really, really liked the time he said cunt.
That's what I mean, 50%.
Yeah. So I would say, yeah, probably not. I don't think it'd hold attention for a general film-going public who wanted to just watch a film.
I agree. It's one of them films that if you had it on your hard drive, you might click it on. I'm going to have a look at that scene that I like. Would you rewatch it? I wouldn't.
Oh, I always want to give films a benefit, but nah.
I don't feel like...
I think I got everything I needed from that film.
That's exactly it. I think some films I want to rewatch so I can see... I want to know a little bit more about that. But I'm not that interested.
No.
I might be interested to read a synopsis if it's a book. I might be interested to have a go on that. But
I'd rather hear from the author/director on this one,
yeah.
Because I think every rewatch I think would just make it more convoluted, and you might get stuck on the wrong issues. Because for me, that whole sequence of the voice on the phone talking about our modelling career, to me that represented Anna. Yeah. In my eyes, that represented her personal.
Well, there's a bit towards the end where it finally pans to the picture that's on the mirror, and I can't remember who did it now.
But it looks like her.
It probably is. But
you also see there's the dress, there's the ballerina dress.
Yeah, so
it builds her character, but it sort of forgets to tie up that loose end, or it forgets to insinuate it.
Well, see, now I'm reading too much into it, but
this is what I mean. So to me, it gets too convoluted the more you try and pick it apart.
Well, yeah. So maybe that is meant to be her. And when what's his name, Shanks, he mentions that he slashed up a rising star and she's got cuts all over her legs. So maybe that's meant to be her dad or something, or he kind of took her and he made her what she is.
Yeah, maybe that's the significance because obviously the scar is on her leg.
Yeah, so she's clearly been cut, so she can't do ballet dancing anymore.
Ballet dancing.
Ballerinaing. Ballet. That's it.
Ballet.
It is very hot, folks.
Yeah,
brains are not working as they should.
It's getting to a point where I think we're going to have to wrap this up.
It's getting to 30 degrees in the attic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, for next time I'll get a full set of questions to ask about a film. But I think
that's fair though. But just in terms to give us a little wrap.
I think to wrap up, my thing to take forward, listeners, all one of you, is it's probably worth a watch if you're intrigued by us talking about it. I wouldn't, and that's the best I can say. I was intrigued just because I wanted to see the director had done, and the trailer makes it look more exciting than it is.
Yeah. I would say it's only just ever so slightly more exciting than listening to us talking about it.
Well, it's not as long for one.
It's not as long, no.
But I haven't tilled up the amount of time, but I reckon we've surpassed it.
Yeah, I'd say so.
And the worrying thing is that we've read in way more into it than probably is there. But that's good, I don't mind doing that.
But that's good. That makes it quite a good film in the end. I think anything that gets you talking about it, anything that makes you discuss it is good in itself, whether you can say you enjoyed it or not.
But if you were watching it to just for your own self-enjoyment and not to discuss with a person, I'd say you wouldn't enjoy it.
Nah, stick to Weekend at Bernie's.
I think you'd be bored and you wouldn't think that the symbolic meaning behind it was too interesting, and you might think it's pretentious.
Yeah.
5 out of 10.
5 out of 10, yeah. I always just want to be one more generous, so I'll give it 6, just because of the humour. That's the only thing.
For one thing that we didn't pick up on, the acting was fine.
Yeah.
All the characters were very well.
Oh, they were. And Jason Isaacs was the man of the match.
Absolutely brilliant. But yeah.
MVP, yeah.
So that's our 2 cents on the last minute.
Yeah.
Ta-ra.
Yeah, see you in a bit.
Ta-ra in a bit.
Ta-ra.
I've got you under my skin. I have got you deep in the heart of me. So deep in my heart that you're really a part of me.